Jane's Addiction, Just Because, on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington. We're all here then.
Oi oi.
About 1:05.
Yeah.
Got 2 hours to go.
I imagine you've got all kinds of treats lined up, Rick.
Well, there's lots of things on the show. Great music, you know, Nirvana, Radiohead, The Darkness, to name but 3.
Can I play you something from Led Zeppelin later?
Yeah, please do, and maybe some Neil Young.
Oh.
Now, coming up also on the show, we're continuing a thing we started. We've only got 4 weeks to go before maybe we either give it all together or go away for a couple of months.
Is it 4 weeks or 3 weeks now?
Is it 3 weeks?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think it's the 16th of August, isn't it?
Cannot end soon enough.
Wow. Might be that, it'd be a shame to end it forever, but it's all up to Karl. So, again, he's in a grumpy mood. We've tried to try and up his attitude, and it's them, it's the listener that counts, Karl, not us. We may be feeling bad, but you, the listener, count. You come first, yeah? Okay, up, yeah? Big 'em up. Big up London. Big up you, the listener. Karl, leave yourself at home for a little while, yeah? We're gonna continue that thing we started last week. We're doing the list of the most hated people in Britain. It's not us, it's the listener. So we're, keep coming, with those suggestions of people you just, obviously, you don't hate them. We don't want a list of mass murderers, dictators, and politicians. You can have them, but,
mass murderers and politicians, what's the difference?
Good point. Good point.
Satire.
Satire, yeah. No, but we're doing some jokes like that as well, aren't we?
Satire like that.
We're trying to get onto Radio 4.
Trying to get on there, yeah.
And,
there's any kind of amusing show that perhaps takes a sideways look at the week's news and then new people.
If there are any Radio 4 producers who, have been knocking around for about 12 years with the same old hacks and they're desperately trying to get on telly, they want to give us a call. We're not interested.
No.
No.
We've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if people that you hate, minor celebrities, people on TV, pop stars you don't like, email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
And I'll tell you what, then we'll do like the Channel 4 do, then we'll give you the sort of list of the top 10 at the end, and you can vote within that top 10. I'll tell you the ones out in front though.
Could we wire up some kind of premium rate phone line so that we make a fortune?
We can't afford it, but if when you email in, if you could also maybe send us a lottery ticket, then, you know, we make something out of this. The ones in the lead, I'll do in no particular order, but these are the ones way out in front at the moment, is Chris Moyles, Robbie Williams, Chris Tarrant, Davina McCall.
Interesting.
I'm sort of surprised at, but I know that it's probably just
I think she's just been on TV too much lately.
Yeah, that t-shirt annoys me, Big Mother.
Sure.
That annoys me. We don't care. We don't care whether you're pregnant or not. Loads of people have children.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Get on with it.
And Dominic Mohan. So, I mean, but think of your own.
There's a lot of people just coming up behind there, though. Graham Norton. He's just approaching
Graham Norton.
from behind.
Oh, that's the sort of stuff. It's sort of like we've done satire, we've done innuendo. I mean, he's the king of the double entendre. Well, he's the king of the single entendre, but we can double it up if you want.
If anyone...
104.9, this is the sort of things we're available. Go on.
If any
I'm loving this. This is going to be good. I'm loving what's coming next. What?
If any of the producers of Carry On London are listening and they need some new talent to write some smutty innuendo, I think we're your men.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Karl, you better press the knob, right, to start the record. Spunk.
Ricky, I know you're a Neil Young fan.
Love him.
You probably won't have this album. It has basically not been available for years. It's never been available on CD before. It was part of this kind of trilogy of albums he did that were very depressing, and they've just been re-released. This is absolute dynamite. It's On the Beach. On the Beach, yeah. And that's the opening track, Walk On, Neil Young.
Brilliant. On XFM 104.9. That's the sort of stuff. You've had satire, you've had a little bit of politics. You've had, we said spunk, which is a bit naughty, isn't it? Which
Exactly.
is a bit cutting edge.
Yeah.
And you've had Neil Young and Jane's Addiction, so...
I can't think
probably
of
quite
anything else I'd rather
down
have.
with the kids and everything, aren't we?
Yeah, pretty hip, pretty weird.
Yeah, so... do you know what else? Wish Tony Blair would just stop doing stuff wrong.
Good, that's good. Who else is there to have a go at? Peter Mandelson or someone.
No.
No?
No, he's good, isn't he? Because he's good because he's gay, isn't he?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if he is. If he's not, then I'm sorry, but if he is, then well done.
Brilliant. Good to, all gay people good.
Yeah.
Any underprivileged people, you're all brilliant. But people who are overprivileged, oh.
Do you know what I like?
Go on.
Foreigners.
Do you?
All the mad shit they get up to.
What is
you
it
see
now?
on the news. It's just so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy. Some of it. I'm watching, I'm going, what are you doing that for?
What are you doing that, boy?
It's weird, isn't it?
Killing and that.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're
and
for
good,
Radio
good
4,
stuff. And good stuff and...
Yeah, well, yeah. Euro Disney, that's good. So anyway, that's the sort of satire and the way we can kind of tear apart popular culture and just get to the very nub bit.
Can I just leave with this? Do you know my favourite country? Africa.
It is brilliant.
Not
It's
strictly a
'cause it's
country,
huge.
but
It is
all
huge.
the countries. Except the bad ones. Remember the bad ones?
Oh, evil ones.
Play a
yeah.
record. Anyone at Radio 4 is listening.
Yeah, we would like to get on some kind of satire show, please.
Longview and further on XFM 104.9.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Yeah, yeah.
The Holy Trinity.
Yeah, going well at the moment.
Not bad,
Going
not
well.
bad. You were just talking about foreigners.
Love 'em.
And I'll tell you something, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, because I know you're a very well-informed man. You
Yeah,
are very
political and sort of liberal and that.
educated. Yeah, yeah. How does Chinese work?
With the language,
I can't figure it out.
no one knows.
I can't figure it out.
No one knows.
It's not like any other language.
No, it's not. It's not.
You know,
Either spoken or written down. Well, it's not written down, it's...
well, when it's written down, it basically looks like kind of little children's drawings of those little paper houses that Chinese people live in.
Well, that's what
You know what I
it
mean?
is.
Sort of-
It is
And
a
it's
little...
loads of them, it's hundreds of them from what I can make
But I mean,
out.
even French have a go. It's not even the French like, right words, but they've got some of
They're
the right
trying to sound
letters,
like English.
and they're going, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And it's sort of they're trying to do the words, but there's just something wrong. I think it's like a speech impediment. I think.
Exactly, yeah. Germans are similar.
Yeah, Germans are going, "Ah, how are you?" And they're trying to do the words.
trying to
They're
speak
just
English, but it's
whereas
just coming out
Chinese,
of it.
no effort.
It's just, for want of a better word, it sounds to me, when I listen to Chinese, it sounds like gobbledygook.
That is a dialect.
yeah, I
that's
can't-
one. I think that's the main dialect. That Mandarin and orangutan. But I mean, that.
I can't, but seriously, I mean, I can't figure it out. I've got no grasp of how, because it doesn't seem to relate to anything I've
Well, there's
ever
not
heard.
real words because there are sentences. Like, you know, we have a word, if we said, a gentleman sits by the stream of fish.
I've said it often.
Yeah? We use all the different words to each one of those words, so we've got a word for each of them.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't, they've just got, I think it's like a triangle with a line through it.
Right.
So,
Right,
which
right,
can
right.
get confusing, because, you
Yeah,
know,
so the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog.
that's just, that's what, I think that's like a little paper house with a feather on top.
Right.
But if we
Because
got...
personally, this is what I would love to do. I want to use the fact that we're on the radio to answer these questions possibly.
Yeah, to
I
tell
would
me about
love-
other cultures.
I would love to speak to a Chinese person.
Yeah.
A Chinaman.
Well, or a Chinaman woman.
A Chinaman woman, I thought
Yeah.
fine. But I'd just like to speak to someone, ideally perhaps, you know, a professor of Chinese.
Or someone who works in a chip shop, but someone who was actually born in Chinaland.
Someone born in China.
Someone born in Chinaland, a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman, just to talk us through exactly what they're going on about.
Exactly. And it's just because I'm very ill-informed. I've only really seen Chinese people in kung fu movies. You know, so
Chinatown?
Chinatown, walking through Chinatown.
As we've said before.
Not really a town.
Not really a town.
More of a novelty street.
More of a novelty street, a slippery novelty street.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
Because I remember watching Kung Fu a lot. They always used to speak, they always speak very slowly, don't they?
they do.
They're very kind of mysterious,
Yeah. And
inscrutable.
They never really they are unscrutable.
You cannot screw a
You
Chinaman.
cannot screw a Chinaman or a Chinaman
They are
woman.
unscrutable, they are
They're-
non-scrutable.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
I was to go out in the street now and try and scroot a Chinaman,
You'd have no chance.
I would not, because they are inscrutable.
You could not screw a Chinaman for love nor money.
They are anti-scrutable.
yeah, yeah.
I could possibly scroot a Chinese woman.
Well, I
That
don't
might
think,
slightly-
I
they're
don't think you'd
pretty
have any
inscrutable.
luck. You've had no
But
luck.
anyway, if you are a Chinaman or a Chinaman woman who can just tell us basically how it works, how would you teach us the basics of Chinese if we were going to go to China and we wanted to interact? Where would we start? What would be the first words we would say? How would we say them? How would we write them? Please help.
This is going to run and run.
What's the number, Carl?
08700 800 1234.
See, proper normal talking there. From Karl Pilkington.
Whole lot of love from Led Zeppelin Classic.
On XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
We've not heard much from Carl this week.
We haven't heard much from anyone who can speak Chinese for us either, so we're not that one on the edge. I don't think we'll be learning Chinese today, Steve.
What annoys me is I'm going to go out into the world still ignorant.
I know, yeah.
frustrating.
The only Chinese I learned was from Benny Hill.
Now, Benny Hill could speak fluent Chinese.
Well, the only ones I know is you silly idiot is Siri Iria,
Yes.
and Bloody Foreigners is Bloody Foreigner.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, that's it's just a matter of it get you by in Peking, but I mean, you come in, you hit a dialect, and you know, your worms meet.
Sure.
Carl, yeah, we haven't heard a lot about from you. We've been going here. We've done a few features already. We've talked about
Chinese
different
people,
parts of the world, different parts of the globe.
Do you speak any languages?
No, not really.
Well, still struggling with English.
Yeah.
Well, a few words. I mean, literally.
So
About 4,000, I think he's got.
I've had a lot of emails actually, people saying, Carl, please don't leave, we don't want to see the show ending, blah, 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 blah.
And we've had
What
a couple
exactly
of calls bringing back, Cheeky Freak of the Week. And do you know what Karl said? He said, a bloke on the phone said, oh, bring back Cheeky Freak of the Week. He went, can't, not allowed to, I don't know, you know. And, he went, oh, go on. He went, well, no, I had a story today. A fella born with 2 dicks, but I can't do it. Now, Karl, you cannot not do a feature about a fella born with 2 dicks.
Well, we'll look if we need it. I mean, how much more have you got on the Chinese?
We're done. We've done that. We've nailed Chinese. We've done it. That's done. That's put to bed. Fella with 2 dicks, please.
No, we might get round to it later. But, like I say, Cheeky Freak of the Week. Sort of, we've put that on hold at the moment.
Sure.
Right.
So, what have we got? What
are you providing then today? Have you got a quiz for us?
Yeah, we've got, what's her name if you want? We've got,
We've got what?
what's her name?
What's her name?
No, don't
Is
know.
that a new one?
Don't know. Yeah, what's her name? Yeah. What girl am I thinking of?
Songs of Phrase.
Songs of Phrase.
We've got that coming up.
All right.
Monkey News.
Monkey News is safe, isn't it?
Some Monkey News that goes out.
I told a bit of Monkey News. I did a photo shoot at the zoo this week, and one of the people in
Trying to
charge.
make yourself look good.
They told me that they used to have an orangutan, right? But it escaped. It worked out. It lifted up a drain, got out the drains, and got out up into the zoo. It actually did a cold type escape, right? And Karl goes, what happened? I said, well, they sort of like, they surrounded it and sort of got it back in. He went, that's no good though. I mean, it's not Monkey News unless it steals a car and goes to Spain.
Exactly, yeah, or opens a small
I mean, that's
bistro.
real. That actually happened.
Yeah.
But it's not real unless it, you know, takes a gun, gets mistaken from a president, and, you know...
runs the country for 3 years.
There was some more news about London Zoo this week about it. They're all excited because we've got an anteater in there.
Right.
This week. So.
Is that good? Is that exciting?
No, I think they've had an okapi born. It's got a long nose. It's like a sort of tapir type thing.
Not interested. Have I said to you before about if an animal's named after what it eats, how interesting is it? Do you know what I mean?
But an anteater is the only one, isn't it?
Well, get rid of them. Do you know what I mean?
There's lots in there.
What other ones are there?
Well, there's flycatchers. There's lots of animals that are named after what they eat.
What's the flycatcher?
That's a bird, isn't it?
Seems ill-informed. I can't think of many beyond anteater. You're talking about, because you're talking about zoo though, and I was watching the news last night, and it had, a feature about Madame Tussauds. And it was saying that they scrapped many of the royal family. Now, I don't mean this, but I've never understood the appeal of Madame Tussauds. I just, genuinely, with no irony, cannot see the appeal of sort of having my photo taken next to a waxwork of J-Lo.
I know.
I can't compute why that would be fun. I don't know. What is it? Do they move? Because they don't move, do they?
No,
They
of
just
course they
stand
don't.
there.
I know.
So genuinely, I mean, it's so crowds of people queuing up, and people queuing up to have their photo taken with the royals. And
the queue would put me off immediately.
well, yeah.
I mean, it's just down the road,
But
isn't it?
so you go home to your phone and go, there's me, there's me with Kylie.
It's
There's me
not
with
quite,
Britney
is it?
Spears.
Her eyes
Oh,
look
no,
a bit
it's just a
funny.
wax effigy.
Oh, I thought you met
Yeah.
her.
No, it's just a waxwork.
Right.
It's not even the real person. If you've been to Madame Tussauds, if you have any understanding of why the appeal there, email and tell me. 'Cause I've no
Let's not diss them, because they might melt down, Ricky Tomlinson one day to do me.
Sure,
You never know, you know.
Or Rick Waller.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't want to put them off.
But seriously, I mean, I'm not being...
You know, Roy
flippant,
Kinnear might be in there.
What
and
is
he'd
the appeal? Genuinely, what is the appeal? To walk around a number of life
But that's the same
effigies.
as lookalikes. When I see it at the back of the stage, and it's got like, I don't know, Susan Gooding is Caprice.
Yeah.
And you want to go, what do you do with her? Oh, 500 quid, she comes and stands at your party.
Yeah.
And people go, she looks a bit like Caprice. Yeah, don't go too close. She does, yeah.
Is that Caprice over there?
No, but it's...
It looks a bit like...
Yeah.
There was one in the back of the stage which was, so-and-so is Jordan. And it was a woman who was sort of buxom girl, wearing very little. I thought,
Buxom! Are you from the West Country?
I am. But I thought to myself, if you're willing to get your knocks out pretending to be Jordan, just get them out and become a pastry model. Stop pretending to be Jordan.
And call yourself after another Middle Eastern country.
Yeah.
Don't just, don't
It's
just...
very odd.
I know. God.
Very strange. But you've got a lookalike now, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's
But
so odd.
But it's a bloke, right? Sort of at his desk, right?
In the picture.
In the picture, and it's David Brent.
Yeah.
And it's got Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
So,
I don't remember, it's just an old fat bloke with a beard.
alright, don't have a go.
Alright.
Play a record, Carl. Ready for that. Radiohead. There. And Go to Sleep on XFM 104.9. Don't go to sleep, we've got some more fun and great tunes coming up. Alright?
Just to let you know that we've had a few new entrants on the listeners' hate poll.
I just noticed Chris Evans is cropping up.
Chris Evans has snuck in a couple of times. We've also had Jordan added to the list, along with Mick Hucknall.
I think that's because you reminded people.
I know, I mentioned her and,
Yeah.
yeah, consequently...
Come on,
she's on the
think.
Mick Hucknall, and also, this is one I'm strongly behind, Daniel Bedingfield. If you've ever
but I
heard
can't
him
hate
interviewed,
him.
oh, if you've heard him interviewed, he's such a knob.
Is he?
He really is a bit.
Don't get involved. We see the good about this is we don't get involved.
Yeah,
This
true,
is
true.
not does not necessarily reflect our opinions.
That's
There are
absolutely
a couple of people that are cropping up that I'm right behind, but I'm not going to give that away. So don't give your opinion, Steve, because then our hands are
Do you know
clean.
who I love? Daniel Bedingfield. He's bloody brilliant.
Do you know who I think is a comedy genius?
Go on.
Chris Miles. But let's move on. Let's not.
So anyway, listen, we'll be giving the top 10 of you, the listeners, votes. Probably about 2 o'clock, and then from that list
If we remember.
if we remember,
If Carl doesn't lose the list.
yeah,
Yeah.
and from that list we'll probably try and draw up the top 3 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so quiz time. I know everyone's been looking forward to this. Which quiz is
Well,
it
we're
this
going to
week?
play along because he's done Songs of Phrase where he cuts up bits and pieces from records. You have to guess the title or the artist, and makes a well-known phrase, i.e. a phrase that we've said a lot. And the challenge is that me and Steve have got to try and work out what it is as well before we will tell you the phrase, but let me just see if I can guess. Play it.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Right, I know what that is.
I didn't hear it. Can you play it once more for me?
Right. I know what that is. Right, it's why don't they play the game of swing ball? Because that's what he said when he turned on and saw people in wheelchairs playing tennis.
And his point was.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Oh dear.
That is so naughty. This show's been a bit naughty, I think. I don't know what's happened to us. I think it's like, sort of end of term sort of madness, but I think we've got to calm down here. We've been a bit naughty there. We said, you know, bloke with 2 dicks. We said Chinese people don't talk properly, which is a little bit,
Offensive.
yeah. Know what I mean, Carl?
Well, they don't know.
Right, okay, let's leave it now.
Okay, stop there, Carl. Carl does not necessarily reflect the opinions of XFM or any
Yeah.
other human being.
If you think that me and Steve have been being offensive, we are strongly behind the guise of irony, satire, and ignorance. Carl only has ignorance and hate.
Yes.
No, but as long as you say something good about someone, you can also say something bad about
Go on,
them.
then.
does that work?
Go on, then, give us an example.
Well, Chinese,
Yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
Great people, right?
Good.
Really,
that's
the
the good
women really good looking as younger people.
No!
They get
What are you
older.
doing?
I'm just saying, as long as you know what I mean, there's good and bad and everything.
For every
Well, what are the
positive
old
and
ones
negative.
like?
They don't age well.
What do you mean?
The fella in Karate Kid, the teacher, was only about 36.
We started this! We started this! Oh.
Fact.
Uh,
So, songs of phrase, email in, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, right?
I mean, I have to say, Carl, it's very tricky this week. You've got some very obscure sounding songs there.
Yeah, just all we want is the artists.
I think just the song, Carl, mate.
I
No,
think
actually,
that's
hard.
harder. I think
That's hard, yeah, the artist.
Just the artist, I know.
Okay, so these are the prizes this week.
Well, let's play it again so they can hear it. Try and work out all the different artists.
Yeah, why don't they play
the game of
the game of swing ball?
Right?
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
That's tricky.
It is tricky.
That is tricky.
That is good.
But there's some great prizes, including, Carl, I can't help but notice, torn from the well, I think today's issue of the Daily Mirror.
What, he's giving away a giveaway?
It's a free CD from the Daily Mirror, which you can buy it, you spend 30p on the Mirror, you can get this anyway. But it's still in the piece of plastic that it came in, I love
It's
that.
ripped.
Anyway, there are some other treats for yourself.
Oh, you'll be loving getting that through the door.
So there's the Jingly Jangly Sound of Summer, Good Vibes, a 2 CD set featuring music from Crowded House, R.E.M., Simon and Garfunkel and the Beach Boys.
I'll tell you what, I've thought of another game. We can put Carl's into theory, right? I can tell him a sort of like a person or, you know, a people or a place, right? Or a profession, and he's got to come up with a good and bad.
A good and bad thing.
It is dicing with death.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do this?
Well, listen, if we're quitting in the next couple of weeks, then who cares?
Okay. Good and bad, right?
Well, hang
You've
on,
got
whoa, let me just we're on the prizes here.
Alright, okay.
So now 55. I know there's a
Okay.
lot of XFM listeners who are going to be looking forward to the likes of S Club 8 and the Fast Food Rockers. They're all on there.
I can't wait. What is their second single going to be about?
The Smashing Pumpkins. This is quite a good little compilation of sort of B-sides and live performances and stuff like that, which is not bad. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. I think we've given that away in the past. All sorts of stuff on there. Plus the director's cut of True Romance on DVD, the Tarantino scripted.
Oh, it's a great film.
Tony Scott
There's some
directed
pretty-
movie.
oh.
So there's some quite good prizes. Just play it once more. Carl.
So email in ricky.gervais, XFM.
Why don't they play the game of swing ball?
Just the artist, yeah? That's all we're after.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right,
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Very tricky.
Brilliant.
Very,
That
very
is
tricky.
brilliant.
Right, bung the song on. I'll bung the song on now.
What?
Let's put a song on. Bit of Pharrell Williams.
Yes.
Good and bad, good and bad. Old people. Darkness. I believe in a thing called Love on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Karl set the ball rolling with songs of phrase. Why don't they play swing ball? Referring, of course, to people in wheelchairs who play tennis, because he was disappointed they weren't getting around the court quickly enough. So why didn't they play swing ball?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Someone just emailed in saying because if they hit it to the top, they wouldn't be able to reach it to unravel it.
Exactly.
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, nonetheless, good and bad in people in wheelchairs? Do you want to do that? Good and bad. Good and bad things about people in wheelchairs.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Suppose. No, really. They take up less room in cinemas. They've got their own seat.
Good.
That's good, is it?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well done. Well done.
And what's bad?
Don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
But well, let's leave that, eh?
You started it. The hate list. Can I just return your minds to the hate list? I said on the hour that we would give you basically the top 5. Now, we have to stress, this is the top 5 most hated people that you, the XFM listeners, have suggested to us. We have not massaged these.
No.
We have not made these up. These are coming from you. Last week we began it. This week you've continued to email. So this is the list. We do not endorse this list. Some of them we may agree with, some of them maybe not, but it's the list that you have come up with. We are merely the messengers.
I tell you who was coming through recently. Cameron, but he didn't make the top 5.
I'm afraid he was just a late
Williams
entrant.
dropped out of the top 5.
Robbie Williams surprisingly dropped out of the top 5.
Yeah.
So let me tell you now, in no particular order, this is the top 5 that you're voting for.
XFM listeners. Well, I say XFM listeners, people who listen to this show. I mean, XFM listeners aren't typical radio listeners, and I think our listeners aren't typical XFM listeners.
Right.
So, I don't know what this poll, what it's worth. What any poll's worth, but I mean, this one is probably worth very little.
I think in a way it's sort of worth less.
Yeah, go on, who's the top 5 in no particular order?
We want you, the listeners, to then just vote, email in with the one name that you hate the most, and then from this list,
Out of this
we
list,
can
yeah.
clear out the number 1.
Okay.
But this is in no particular order. Chris Tarrant,
Yeah.
a surprising entrant. Davina McCall.
Well, I don't think he's that surprising.
Well, anyway,
'Cause, I mean,
I'm not
these-
going to editorialise.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying I imagine XFM listeners pretty much despise someone like Chris Tarrant.
Okay, well anyway, Chris Tarrant's on there. Davina McCall.
Yeah.
Patrick Kilty.
Right.
Graham Norton.
Right.
And Chris Moyles. Now, I'm not going to say anything. Those are the names that you have drawn up. There are lots of others that didn't make the top 5. Richard Madeley was on there. Michael Flatley. Vorderman, bizarrely. I thought
Michael
was very on there.
Flatley's a weird one.
Very strange. So Jamie Oliver, a lot of votes for him, but he's not made the top 5. So those are the top 5. Just email in with the number 1
Yeah.
that you hate. And we're talking about someone that...
Another pointless, inane poll.
Exactly.
And this time we did it. Oh, dear.
Moyles, Norton, Kilty, McCall, Tarrant. It's your choice.
Who would you have
Ricky
out of this?
Gervais.
Who would you have in your list, Carl? You're allowed to talk because people know your opinions don't matter. So, what?
I honestly don't really hate anyone.
That's
that
nice.
much. I'm not that fussed. You know what I mean?
We're
I
not
don't
talking so
like
much about hate. We're talking about someone that
Yeah, we
annoys
don't mean
someone
hate. You can't hate any of these people. All they've done was pop them up on telly. But I think it's people who, as one listener, she put it. She sort of, so I think she had some of those, and she said, you know, I don't hate them. These are the people that if they pop on my telly, I have to turn over. You know what I mean? It's not, you don't hate them, you know.
But sometimes it's not their fault. It's like Davina, right? I used to quite fancy her. And now, because she's always on the telly, it's like, oh, I can't be dealing with her now.
Sure.
But
Right.
she's still the same presenter. It's just that I'm bored with it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm not getting involved in it.
Okay.
Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? Don't want to offend anyone.
Let me just give the email address.
But I mean,
Ricky, let me just give the email address. I just said it, so look, talk over it.
Okay, I'm going to do Carl's top thing.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. That's also the email address for your answers to this week's Songs of Phrase. Play it again, Karl, if you would.
Go on.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of sweet.
We just want the artists, is that right?
Yeah, that'll do.
I've got two that you don't like. Not that you hate them, but that you sort of like, don't agree with them. Would Liverpudlians be in your list?
Probably.
What about, gay fellas in toilets looking at you?
Well, I think they've sorted that out, so...
One of the prizes this week in Karl's goodie bag features this song. Play it, Karl. The Monkeys. Pleasant Valley Sunday.
God.
Monkeys, Pleasant Valley Sunday. Brilliant. XFM 104.9, Karl Pilkington.
This show is monkey heavy,
It
isn't
is
it?
indeed.
It is monkey heavy. Carl, if you were president, would you sort of make it compulsory to maybe have a little monkey? Everyone has a little monkey of their own? Little chimps out and out, old age pensioners?
It's not a bad little, It's funny, you know, because there was, a story the other day, when I was looking for Monkey News, right? There's a story about a couple who couldn't have any kids, right? There's something wrong with them, but they really wanted a kid. And they got some, dodgy email address where they could buy a baby online, right? It was someone who would have a kid, and you could buy it for $3,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, they got one, they got picked, and they're like, brilliant, there's the money. Got the baby and everything, they were loving it. You know, playing with it and stuff. As it got older,
Feeding it.
it got airier.
Oh, shut the oh, Carl!
Turned out they'd been sold a chimp.
You maniac. You stupid mank twat.
on earth?
Don't talk shit. That is as if... what?
didn't know it.
Oh, don't talk. Are you mental? You
I love the fact
stupid.
that didn't make it into Monkey News.
I know, yeah.
Well, it's a bit sad though, we don't like to bring
They
the
bought...
feature down.
Yeah.
But
And how
anyway,
long was this? It got hairier. They're born hairy! They're not born like humans then develop hair, because they go, hold on, we better get the chimp stuff kicking in now, because we're in the jungle.
school photograph, they were like, hang on a minute, it looks a bit weird. With all the
Oh,
kids.
you are just
Mad, innit?
the rubbish. Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Mad, innit? Imagine, oh, God.
But
Just
anyway.
imagine if he was in charge, we did put him in charge of the country.
Terrifying.
Wouldn't that be amazing? Let him run the country.
Just for a week.
Or the mayor. What would you do if you were the president or the Lord Mayor of London or the Prime?
Prime Minister Karl.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
do it like he's going to be offered it. It's a hypothetical question, Carl.
No, but Suzanne was, right, my missus, if you're a new listener.
You keep her, sure.
Yeah, help her.
She was watching the news, trying to follow some heavy stuff. And I'm like,
The weather? What?
Do you know what I mean? I just was like bored and I was reading about that mouse that had an ear on its back and stuff like that. So she said, well, you take notice of this. Should be, you know what Ricky and Steve are like. They try to teach you stuff and you don't even want to learn. So to try and get me interested in it, she was like saying, what would you do if you're president and stuff?
Yeah.
And I can't be doing with any of it.
What did you come up with? You must
What would
have.
your slogan be?
What did you come up with? Did you come up with anything?
I had a little, the design of it, right? I said I'd have like red and blue, to sort of, do you know what I mean? Both sort of major sides into one.
Yeah.
taking the best
Yeah.
out of
Well,
both.
that's broken the back of it. That's a pretty good manifesto so far. Anything else? What's on the second page?
I had like KP looks after me.
That would be the badges, would it?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm a KP nut.
Yeah.
Um,
KP looks after me.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's about as far as I went with it.
What would you do? What about, policies, transport, crime, just law and order?
Yeah, what would you do, how would you deal with crime? What would your initial approach be? Would you introduce guns? Should police carry guns?
Nah.
No.
Would I have to worry about that?
Okay.
the
No,
Prime
good point.
Minister?
Good point.
No, what I'm saying is that, I mean, Tony Blair isn't sorting everything out, is he?
No, but he has a say in most things.
Does he? Well, go on then. What are the problems at the moment? Aren't they sorting out?
Well, generally, what's the best way to combat? Would you bolster up the prison system? Would you introduce more community service?
Would you
put more bodies on the beat?
would you go harsher for say I don't know drugs? Would you go harsher or less harsh? There's pros and cons to
Higher or
both, isn't
lower?
it? Because of course you can't see to condone it, but some people, you don't want to go through the court system and cost taxpayers thousands of pounds of money for someone, I don't know, the difference between smoking a spliff and dealing crack. Do you know what I mean? You have to all these things. Have I lost you?
Yeah, I'd just think about it for a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
You'd think about it for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably ask Suzanne. Do you know what I mean?
This is amazing.
Get her help on it.
Yeah. Can
Now,
we?
what about the foreign situation? Would you have supported Bush in his war on terrorism? You're aware of this war that we had recently?
Yeah. I mean, if I was new, though, couldn't I just say, look, new slate. Do you know what I mean? Let's start again.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course you can.
I'm in charge now. Let's see if we can sort this out.
What would you do then?
Then see what happens. Just leave
Brilliant.
it. Just leave it.
Suck it and see.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
This is excellent.
Now, this is not really your jurisdiction. This is not really your area, but I imagine you'd have some powerful friends who might have a say in it.
Go on.
Yeah. What would you do about single-sex marriages? Same-sex marriages?
See, this got this Cameron. I thought Cameron had blown it on Big Brother because they said, what do you think about gay fellas getting married? And he went, no, in the Bible it says, a man and a woman. And I thought, oh, he's put off a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't think many Christians tune into Big Brother, but we know the gays love it.
Yeah.
They love Big Brother, don't they? The gays.
Yeah, so interesting. But
So,
what would your take be on that? Same-sex marriages?
And then what? Having a kid?
Well, just let's start off with,
Well, that's all right, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just let them get on with it. It's
Sure.
not affecting anyone else,
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
right? But it starts getting tricky
Right.
when you get a kid.
Okay.
Go on, why?
Well, it's just tricky, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you could be right. I'm not giving any. I mean, we're not. There's no right or wrong
It's
answer.
alright if you were if you lived in the jungle, right, with no one else,
Yeah.
right, and you just had these two fellas, right,
Yeah.
looking after you, but because you got no one else looking in on that, saying, "Oh, you're a bit weird, aren't you?" Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
as soon as you come
So,
to,
why have they got married? Do you think the gay people turned to a bloke because they couldn't get a woman? If there's two fellas go away and they're in the jungle, they go, we're definitely not going to find a woman here. We might as well bum. That's not how homosexuality starts. People don't.
it makes you wonder. If,
No, it does make you wonder. Gays don't go, well, I'll tell you what, I haven't seen a woman I fancy yet, I'll try a bit of knob.
No. But what I'm saying is, right, if you're brought up in like a little jungle, right?
Yeah.
You
How
want
are you brought up?
someone just puts you there.
I don't know what.
Explain.
I don't know what
Can't be
this is
bothered,
about.
Steve. I can't be bothered
Go
running
on,
the
mate. I'm
country.
listening. I'm fascinated.
I can't be bothered running the country. Like, I'm too much trouble for you.
KP takes care of me.
All right,
Yeah,
fair
yeah,
enough. What I'm
okay.
saying is, right, if you're brought up in a jungle,
Yeah.
Right.
right, on your
What do you
own-
mean brought up?
Just let him finish.
What does he mean
You
brought-
understand
brought
what I
up,
mean?
though?
Like Tarzan.
You've got to tell me what you mean by brought up. Wolves, chimps, what?
Right, well, there's a good example of what I'm saying to you.
Right.
Right, what I'm saying is, there's a fella, right, he's brought up in the jungle.
Shut up. Just let him finish. Let him finish.
There's no women about, he doesn't know about women, he doesn't understand what women are,
Right.
right? But another fella walks in the scene,
Yeah.
and he gets pally with him.
What does he talk about?
Then they've both got needs.
This scenario is ridiculous. How has he lived? Or do you know what's his reference points?
I can't be bothered with this. Honestly, Saturday should be, you know, day off and that, not worrying me about problems.
God! Oh! Oh, God!
KP takes care of me.
Oh, dear. Elbow. Fallen Angel on XFM 104.9. So, there we go. Karl as president. He's still confused, aren't you, Karl?
Just a little bit, sort of amazed.
Yeah.
By the body.
Yeah. You're in
Just
awe of it, aren't you?
Just the way...
I'm amazed how two people can buy a baby on the internet for £3,000 and not realise it's a chimp till it goes to school.
No, but seriously, what would, you know, talking about there during Elbow and Fallen Angel, we were talking about that I think...
Yeah.
If you're locked up, well, not locked up in a room, you've got a normal life, except there's no women in it.
Yeah.
Right?
But how would that happen? What would this point of reference be? How would you bring up a person
can I just ask you something, though?
Go on.
How can infinite monkeys on a typewriter?
Right, again, I've told it before, right? That is not... You don't actually have to test that model. It's basically a model for that explains the nature of infinity. Okay?
Yeah, but...
I've told you before. It works because of the definition of infinity. There's nowhere in the world you'll ever be able to get an infinite amount of monkeys and typewriters to
But anyway, all I'm saying is, I think if you don't know about women, would you crave for a woman, even though you don't know they're around?
When you hit sort of puberty, your hormones will kick in and you'd start getting urges.
But for what? If you don't know about it?
You don't have to know about it. You don't, if you grew up and you started feeling hunger, you wouldn't go, I wonder what that is. You'd go, get me a sandwich, I'm starving.
It's different though, it's different.
But I'm not, but we're not saying it's all hardwired or people can't change their natural state. We do it all the time. We fight nature all the time with conditioning.
God, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well that's that one. I'll tick that. It's weird, isn't it?
No, the body is. There was something.
Yeah.
Did you read that thing the other week about
Man with two penises?
No, we don't need that. We don't need that.
Lawyer who got in office realised he was actually an orangutan and they just shaved him and put a suit on him from Hugo Boss. And the funny thing is, he won the case and the judge said, well, don't send him back to the jungle. Let him set off on his own. Bodge it, wibble and podge. You'd make the best judge in the world.
No, there was a fella...
Here's a banana.
There's a fella who was in a coma for 20 years. Just, they kept, like, taking him through, like, the normal day. They'd take him to Alton Towers and stuff. Doesn't know anything about it, just kept going through the motions. Don't know if they kept charging him. Kept putting him through all that. He eventually came out of it. 20 years.
And went, stop taking me to Alton Towers, it's shit!
I just thought, imagine how much post
making, eh?
How much post?
Oh,
Did you read about that guy in the paper, Karl? He, sorry, on the internet. He in about, I think it was about 1984, 85, he had a terrible car accident.
But this must be it.
He went into a coma.
This must be what he's talking about.
Well, they didn't take him to Alton Towers.
Of course they didn't. But you've got to try and decipher the truth from the conjecture, from the thing that I mean, don't forget, Karl realises that he's had a dream. He talks to Zan and goes, that was good, wasn't it, last night we were in the plane? She goes, no, that's a dream. He goes, oh yeah, where's my car flags? You got to, you know what I mean, I can now decipher what he's actually seen, what he's read.
Well, go on, what did you...
Well, I'm assuming it's the same guy.
It is the same guy.
It was a guy in some small American town,
Yeah.
and he'd had a car crash, and he'd gone into a coma, and his wife had left him. She'd gone on with her life, because he'd been in a coma since then. And he had just woken up recently.
Marriage wasn't working.
Marriage wasn't working. He just wasn't paying enough attention. He actually she was pregnant at the time, and so now his daughter is basically the same age as he was when he went into the coma. And, he's just started coming around, he's just started making jokes. They said, how do you feel? He said horny, which I thought was quite witty for a man who'd been in a coma for however many years. But anyway, yeah, so he's slowly trying to rebuild, what life he can.
That's
what do you make of that though? Because the thing is that he's missed. Imagine what he's missed, Karl. Imagine the music that he's missed. The
Live
TV
Aid.
programs.
Missed Live Aid.
Live Aid.
He missed Phil Collins playing in 2 continents in one day.
Frankly, I'd be devastated if I discovered that.
Missed Bros.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't, so he'd put on ripped jeans and they go, passe.
They just have to send him a series of those, I Love 1986
Exactly.
programmes with Kate Thornton filling him in on what he's doing.
Exactly. Peter Kay reminding him of space operas.
Yeah,
he
read
remembers
about them
those.
talking rubbish.
Yeah. So,
Extraordinary though, isn't it, Carl, to think?
Mm.
No, obviously
So,
not.
had he aged much? Because he hadn't had any problems or anything, no worries.
well,
Is that
he probably wouldn't have, physiologically, he probably wouldn't have the wear and tear of a 43-year-old man.
Was that a good
Because
kid?
he wouldn't have had sun, he wouldn't have had sort of nicotine, beer.
Unless they were just feeding that to him.
Anyway,
Try and
still,
bring him round.
yeah, yeah.
You feel groggy though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you might feel a bit groggy. Yeah, yeah,
Well, he's not fully back to normal. I mean, there's
No,
some
it's-
kind of residual brain damage.
yeah.
But nevertheless, he can form sentences. He's got no real memory, so he can't remember a lot of things.
It was just when I saw
Carl,
it,
have
that's
you been
what...
in an accident?
So giving the answers out for what's his name?
Oh, later, play a tune. I'm
Yeah.
bored.
Bit of Snoop Dogg.
Oh, play it.
Yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dogg from 1993. And What's My Name?
Long time ago.
It was indeed.
10 years ago.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Carl Wilkington. Songs of Phrase. We've had very, very few entries. I really think people aren't interested. They really have just given up. I mean, seriously,
That's
I
the
don't mean to be
one thing. That's
disrespectful.
the one thing you contributed to this show, Carl, and it's the weak link. I
It's the
think
missing link.
in the chain. The missing link. Oh, do you reckon there is one, Carl? Do you reckon they'll ever find the missing link? Wandering around Manchester.
Wait a minute, Carl. The stats then. Let's have the answers, if we can.
Right, it was
Well, let's
specials.
play it once more.
Alright.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why.
Specials.
Yep. Jermaine Jackson.
The game of swing.
Right, it was Play the Game of Love. I think that was Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Right, you think, but you're not sure.
Louis Armstrong was the Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, We're Having a Good Time, and that.
We're having a ball.
We're having a ball.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering you yourself weren't entirely clear, I think it's only fair to give it to Paul Brown, who got some of the answers right.
PB, you are getting those prizes.
well
they
done,
are
Pete.
on their way
They're
to you
winging their
now.
way to you. Okay, the stats are in for the XFM listener hate list. Some interesting results.
Go on then.
Reverse order.
Okay, in 5th
In
place.
5th place, interesting, Davina McCall.
Yeah, I think that's just. I think that's his reflection of her being on telly all the time and running out of stuff and being a bit over the top and yeah,
4th position,
yeah.
Christopher Tarrant.
Okay, well, I mean that's yeah. I wouldn't have thought he's the favourite.
There is
Role
a
model
joint
of- go on.
2nd place.
Go on.
Graham Norton
Yeah.
is alongside in 2nd place. Patrick Kilty, which means Chris Moyles is the winner with an overwhelming vote. And I swear to God, I have not done anything to those stats.
Yeah.
That is exactly as they've come in off the email.
We do not give our opinions on this.
Do
That
not
was the
condone that.
XFM listeners, but well done.
Thumbs up, you all win a
We're going
prize.
to play you some nice records because of that, aren't we?
I reckon they'd sort of prefer some ads.
Either's fine.
Yeah. Feeder. Forget About Tomorrow on XFM 104.9. When I was at university, my best mate was a bloke called Wally, and he was doing psychology, and I was doing philosophy, and we both got into this theory called determinism, which is about the state of the mind, and it's a materialistic view that everything is part of the causal web, and everything has a reaction for something that happened before it, and by the way, Carl, do not confuse this with fatalism. Determinism is not predictive. It's just that if a brain state happens again, then there's, anyway, the famous
Everyone
one is. Yeah, the famous one is if you know a butterfly hadn't shaken its wings, Queen Victoria wouldn't have sneezed. Everything's inextricably linked, right? We were thinking that, right? And we're thinking, what if you changed one word in like classic songs or one note in Beethoven's symphony?
Yeah.
How it just wouldn't work.
Well, I've always thought that, come on baby, light my fire.
Yeah.
Not as good. That sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
Enigmatic, interesting. Not so good. More pedestrian if it was, come on baby, light a fire.
Yeah, just one thing wrong.
Yeah.
That would be great. Just Paul McCartney comes to John and he goes, "All right, John, written a song." Because, well, she was just 17, well, you know what I mean. The way she looked was way beyond compare. I wouldn't dance with another.
I'll stop you there.
Go on.
I'll stop you there.
What's the matter?
Something not quite right with that. I love the song. It's great.
Yeah.
Just once more. For
Well,
us.
listen, don't be too harsh. I mean, because we write our own songs.
No,
but
sure,
we can still put both our
John,
names
I think
to
you're
it.
a great talent. I think you're a great talent.
Well,
I'm just saying.
listen, you hippie, right?
Well, not yet.
Well, not yet, but I mean, there's a Japanese bird outside looking
Don't
in.
fancy, I'm not interested.
No, well, listen, well...
And I'll never
right?
change my view.
Right, now listen, right? I wouldn't dance with another...
Is that bit?
Is it that bit
That
you don't
bit's
like?
not
Is it the...
working.
I just like the...
Could you try and... Is there a different pitch you could go on?
I wouldn't dance with another...
So again.
You don't like the... Is
I'm
it the
just
noise?
not sure the girls are going to go crazy for it when we do that bit.
Just think of...
Is there anything else you've got?
I love the idea of just changing one lyric. Radiohead. Well, that was their classic song. Creep. You can't really change that, can you? Burke. What if they called it Creep? I'm a Burke. I'm a twat.
I'm a knob.
But don't worry about determinism, Karl. Just because it says we don't have a free will as such. You know, it's more an illusion. It's not whether we choose our choices, whether we can choose, you know, to choose our choices.
He knows all this.
But don't, as I say, do not confuse it with fatalism. It is non-predictive and does not change anything. I mean, the moral upshots are frightening because if we have no free will, then are we culpable for our actions? But again, it changes something because you've got to take people out of society that are harm.
Karl has often said that.
All right, Karl?
Am I still the president?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, I'm just asking. I'm not.
Yeah, what would you do? What would you do about determinism? Change it.
I'd have a day off.
If you were president of America, would you ban guns? It's in the Constitution. Everyone's allowed to have them.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I just love that. Imagine all your different aides and the Secretary of State and generals coming to you, and they come out and they go, what did he say? He goes, he said he's going to think about it. Again, did he say that again, did he? Yeah. What was he doing? He was on Hanover looking at monkey news. Apparently, a chimp stole a car and drove to France.
No, monkey news. You're talking.
I'll tell you what, should we have a great song, then monkey news?
It'd be an absolute treat.
What about a little bit of David Bowie, Sorrow?
Yeah.
Didn't write this one, but, I mean, he sings it bloody well. David Bowie, Sorrow, on XFM 104.9. Nearly there, but, you know, we're working our way up to the grand finale. The bit where Karl spouts absolute nonsense from a dodgy source on the internet about a monkey who did something impossible.
Let's cue up the jingle.
Hang on. Alright.
Perfect.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news!
Right. Let's have a look. This one's from some woman, right?
Yeah.
And she was taking part in the London to Brighton bike ride, right? Lovely day, weather's good and everything.
What year?
She's just a couple of months ago. She's done all the training, right? Done all the training and stuff. Got a brand new bike for it. Got a little puncher outfit and stuff, all set for the day, right? It's a nice day. She sets off. They all start pedalling and that on the way to Brighton, right? So she knows the route and that. Got little headphones on, cycling along. Suddenly.
Right, okay. I'll stop you now. If a cyclist overtakes her and it's going really fast and it's sort of hunched over, but it's got like lots of cycling gear on and a helmet and goggles and they can't tell what it is, but they just know it's like a little hairy fella who hasn't bothered shaving his legs, which is weird, isn't it? Because cyclists usually shave their legs, and this bloke had really hairy legs. But and it won. They gave it the medal. It won 3 years running. They gave it the key to the city. It had its own game show. And then someone said, "Hold on, though. This fella's all hunched over, and he's only 3'5", and his arms are longer than his body. It's a chimp. If it goes anywhere near that, we're never doing it again."
More monkey news next week.
She's cycling along.
So anyway, she's cycling along, right? And this tricycle.
I couldn't predict that.
There's always one element you can never anticipate.
Yeah. Got a kiddie's tricycle with a little kid on it, little hairy kid with a helmet. Okay, just go on then.
Well, a tricycle comes
Whizzing past, yeah.
him.
Strong legs, don't they, chimps?
So she's thinking but didn't get a chance to see the face.
Oh, yeah, couldn't quite see the cyclist. Oh, God! You bald mank git. Go on. Yeah, research scientist Karl Pilkington.
So anyway, she gets to the end line, right? And they got talking. That's it. Was a nice day, nice race and all that. So did you see a little thing on a tricycle?
Thing? Well, a person, surely, just a human. Did you see that? No. Did you see that bloke on the tricycle?
So anyway, turns out.
Yeah. Well, what did you say? Thing? Well, no, was no suspicious. I mean, why did you say? Did you see that fellow on a tricycle?
Anyway, so it turns out.
Go on.
It was a chimp.
You're joking!
Right.
Well, Christ almighty, there you go. Unbelievable, and it was a chimp all along.
So anyway, right, so the woman's like,
We're never doing this again.
checking out the news, right? There's nothing on it. She checks out XFM Monkey News.
Right, okay, I'll
I
stop
don't
you there
mention
again. Right, if it turns out she does on the news, right, and the circus goes, we're looking for our chimp, it used to ride this tricycle, and it escaped with police chasing it.
No. So she listened to XFM, see if I'd picked up on the story.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't have it and stuff. So she got in touch with the organisers of the London to Brighton bike ride, said, look, saw a little hairy fella.
Why did she care?
Because she wanted to know, she thought it was a bit odd.
Well,
Turns
why-
out it was a chimp. They weren't happy about it.
Of course not.
Because now the owner of the chimp wants to enter it into the Tour de France.
No! Oh, God! I'm gonna die! Oh, God!
In 2005.
Now, a couple of questions. I trust you'll be able to answer these.
Go on.
Oh, God! Steve, help me out.
How did it get hold of the tricycle?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, no, that's fine. That's not an important point.
Like, that's important.
How
What's the
did
matter
it-
with you, Steve? He doesn't know that.
How did it know to... well, firstly, how did it know which way to cycle? But more importantly, how did it know there was a major bike ride? On
Just following the crowd,
No,
Steve.
no.
What's the matter with you?
The owner of it had trained it and stuff.
No, he hadn't!
It had already done the run beforehand, before the big day.
No, it hadn't.
Like I say, it wants to do the Tour de France in 2005.
No, it doesn't.
But there's something about animal rights. If they don't let it enter, they can kick up a bit of a fuss.
The animal rights is that it's cruel to make a chimp ride a bicycle.
Not if he
that
wants
it's
to.
prejudice that it'll go, is it because I is hairy? You idiot!
Right? So,
Wow, that is the worst. That is the worst one yet. Absolute twaddle. Absolute rubbish, Karl.
Have you got a tricycle?
Unbelievable. Kings of Leon, Molly's Chambers on XFM 104.9. Thanks to Lauren Laverne there for the last few hours. Coming up, we have got some great music, Steve. We've got Kings of Leon, as you heard. We've got Alba, we've got The Darks, we've got Coldplay, Coral, Rolling Stones, we've got some Springsteen, The Smiths. Do you know what I mean? Do you need any more? And with all that, we've still got Pete Skinner with his wacky weather report.
Excellent, good old Pete.
Eh?
Nice to have him back.
Good news, Steve. Got some here. Brought in. It's just a normal soup. It's Rooster's Pride. What flavour soup's that, Steve?
Oh, I know you brought that, and it's all the genuine article, and it's cock soup. Oh, thanks. Can I have a close look at that? Maybe there's some more humour I can draw.
What, you want a closer look at my cock soup?
Just cock soup. Let me just. It says here delicious, appetising.
Oh,
3
is
to
it?
4 servings.
Because you know what I'm thinking of when you're talking about the
I'm
soup.
trying to think of innuendo.
I'm just thinking of a man's cock.
Penises, yeah. Let me just.
It's the darkness.
Use Rooster's Pride cock soup as a snack with crackers or toast.
Still thinking of a normal knob.
An appetizer, again, or a soup base. That doesn't really work as an innuendo. That's disappointing. We'll work on that, though.
The darkness growing on me on XFM 104.9. Going well, isn't it?
I've enjoyed it so far.
It's been a bit naughty and everything.
Yeah, a bit
like,
smart.
Nothing
wrong with that.
No. Karl,
alright.
having a good day?
Not bad.
Yeah?
What mood are you in this week?
What
'Cause we
mood
always
is that?
try to assess each week. You know, it's a bit edgy.
He's got a red head. What's all that? He's got a red head all around the side and the front. What's that?
Sunburn?
No, I think I'm allergic to having my head rubbed.
Right. Right. Now, who would rub your head? That sounds a bizarre thing. Your girlfriend?
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Who's
I was-
rubbing your head?
Well, yeah, but I was squeezing his head, fair enough, and he was screaming in agony. And then he went and made me a cup of coffee. And as he came over, just spilt boiling hot coffee on my legs. I'm all wearing shorts, and he went, "Sorry," just like that. It's like a series of jackass out there this morning. I mean, my legs are burnt. Your head's a little bit red. But apart from that, having a good day.
Not bad. I was on the way in today, right, Steve?
Walking in?
Walking in, always walking in. I get left early. stuff. I like to get in early, get some bits done,
Monkey News, songs of phrase.
that sort of thing. And living in London, right, there's a lot of shops that open early and stuff, do you know what I mean? People say that's a good thing about London.
Yeah.
It's almost like 24-hour city and stuff, right? I'm walking in and there's like, you know, you've got your newsagents open,
Obviously.
you know, selling newspapers and that's good, they've got to be open early. Then you've got your coffee shops, your Starbucks,
Have a cup of coffee in the
do you know what I
morning.
mean? They're doing well in the morning. Then you see like the odd restaurant and you think, well, maybe they sort of got the doors open but they're preparing for lunch, so you think, fair enough.
Yeah. I'll let that pass.
Yeah. Carrying on walking down the road. Bondage shop. Open.
Sure.
About 10:30.
Yeah.
Busy, was it?
There's a couple in.
Really?
Some good offers. About 10:30 for a bondage shop.
I'm assuming if you're into bondage, though, you stock up at any time, day or night. I mean, you don't...
Yeah.
Well, I assume it...
I suppose you get up and you go, oh, I've got nothing on, I need to be a bit tied down.
Yeah.
I need some rope.
These clothes are too baggy. I need more belts.
Oh, God.
I need more straps.
Yeah, oh. Get some rubber on my face.
Weird, don't it?
What were you doing in there?
So, just having a browse. But, so a bit worried, really, because the things that I've noticed this week, like that's probably a little bit smutty. You've brought your soup in.
I just found it out there. Sorry, yeah. It is Rooster's Pride, cock soup, noodle soup mix, chicken flavour. But, I mean, do they not know that is obviously just going to be used on the Graham Norton show and Chris Tarrant when he's doing his show abroad?
Yeah.
I mean, do you know what I mean? Well, how could they call it cock soup in this day and
I don't
age?
keep saying it.
Well, no, it's fine, because you can say cock as long as it means the male we've done this.
Oh, do you mean chicken?
Yeah, look, it's a picture of a chicken.
Yeah, sorry.
What did you think it meant?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It's in my head.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's something else that's a bit sort of...
A bit blue?
A little bit blue, but then it's real as well, do you know what I mean?
Well,
it's a
that
problem.
excuses it.
Go on.
There's a programme
We
in the
couldn't
week.
have said the cock soup if we'd made it up, but because it's real. It's fine.
Yeah. We also couldn't have said the cock soup if we'd have meant a male penis.
Thankfully, we don't. So.
We mean a little chicken. Go on.
Yeah, this programme was on. It was Wednesday night, something. About this little lad.
Yeah.
It was a fella and a woman.
At the same time. What was
do
it
you
like?
mean?
Like a cartoon with a secret identity.
By night. What do you mean? He had both
By day a boy, by night a woman.
He had it all.
What do you... Sorry, wait. So he had male and female genitalia.
Yeah.
So what do you call someone that's born like that?
Weird. Yeah.
Now, what's the term for it? Go on. You know it. We've talked about it before.
Aphrodite.
Really? So close! Hermaphrodite. Yeah, hermaphrodite. Yeah.
That's weird, don't it?
Yeah.
And he had the ball.
Yeah.
And he had the...
Well, what happened was he was born, right?
Obviously.
And the doctor said, there you go. Lovely little boy and girl. So the mum was like, what? So he said...
No, I don't think the doctor was sarcastic.
Yeah,
I don't think the doctor was, sort of dissing them.
Yeah.
There you go. What do you mean, doctor? I'll have a look. There's the cock, there's the minge. All right, see you later. What are you going to call hit? But doctor, what do you mean? Have a look. He wasn't sarcastic. He didn't give
Doctor,
clues.
tell me what you mean. Give me a straight answer.
He probably went, oh shit, she's got a cock. He didn't go... He wasn't sarky to the parents.
No,
Anyway.
but I'm just getting across, do you know what I mean? I always had a little bit just to...
Yeah, I know you
spice
do,
it
yeah.
up,
You should
spice
be
it
a
up.
newsreader. Be brilliant.
So there's a little kid lying there.
Yeah.
And the mum says, you know, what am I going to do then? So, the doctor... I mean, I'm condensing this. It was like an hour long.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he says, she said, what will I do? And the doctor said, well, he's not sort of well hung.
Right.
Oh,
So, he's
not sort of well on. This doctor
medical
has
term.
been, I assume, has been struck off since for saying these things.
It was a real doctor. It wasn't Dr. Fox.
Yeah. Right, go on.
So the doctor said, so I recommend that we make it a woman,
Right.
right? So, they sort of do a little bit of,
Jiggery pokery.
a little bit of work. And
I don't think that's true, Carl.
No, it was on the programme.
But I think they can tell really what they were meant to be from the chromosomes, can't they? They can tell whether they're X, Y, Y, or
Yeah,
X.
not just, it's not very well hung.
No, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, because back then, when this was going
Yeah,
on,
no,
right,
I'm just thinking they might not have had to.
the doctors then thought if you had a kid, right, and you thought, it's a bit ugly, maybe it'll have a better life if it was a fella. If it was a girl and it's a bit ugly and you think it's going to get hard time.
Right, don't talk shite.
What?
What? That a doctor would go, right, you've had a young girl, I'll tell you what, she's a pig, let's pop a cock on her. Don't
No,
talk
I'm not saying,
shite.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, say if you have like I say, a girl. I just think it's harder if a girl's ugly
Yeah.
and she's growing up,
Yeah.
she has a harder time.
Yeah.
Don't you agree with that? If
Possibly, but you don't change someone when they...
No, yeah.
You don't change their gender
no,
because
but
they're
I'm
a
just
bit of a
saying
minger.
what I'm saying is the Elephant Man would have had a harder time if it was Elephant Woman. Is what I'm saying. But listen to me, listen. What the doctor was saying is, if you get a baby before it's 2,
Yeah.
back then they thought you could sort of say, well, instead of giving it a go-kart, give it dolls to play with.
Right, back when? What are we talking about?
The Middle Ages?
Well, we put a song on, come back to this.
Yeah, it's Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City. Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City, on XFM 104.9. Okay, look, have another go, Carl. What were you saying? As an hermaphrodite, yeah, he was born both sexes. The doctor said he's not well hung, let's lose that.
Let's get rid of that.
Let's make
it
it
a
into a
woman.
girl. Okay. I'm with you so far, go on then.
So, anyway, gets away with it a little bit in the early years. Right. Starts going to school, gets away with it a little bit.
Sure.
Right. But then, do you know when you get to that age and your head goes all funny? Like when you're a teenager and you sort of, I don't know, your skull goes.
Mine never did.
What are you talking about?
No.
Yes,
That
what do you
sort
mean
of
your head goes all
teenage
funny?
years when you look at it odd. Do you know what I mean? You go from being quite a good-looking person and then your body starts growing.
At different rates, so
Yeah,
you never know till 21 whether you're going to be a looker or not, or whether it's just.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
Go on.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
So,
Your head grew outwards at exactly the same rate, didn't it? That's why it's
Your
spherical.
head grew faster than your hair.
He's got a lovely head of hair, but
Exactly.
just below the skull.
Yeah.
He's got a little afro in there,
Yeah.
but it just couldn't get through the follicles. It couldn't catch up the skull. Expanding. Oh, bless him. Oh, come on, Baldy.
but the thing is, right, so you see these pictures of the lad stroke woman
Yeah.
who's trying to be a woman at the age of 14, 15.
Yeah.
She's got one of them big heads,
Right.
like a
okay.
lad. Doesn't, she starts having a hard time. She doesn't want to play with the mates, with the dolls and all that. She's more into go-karting and that sort of thing. Gets to an older age,
Yeah.
decides to go back, is now sort of with a woman and having a life of a fella.
But did did the doctor keep it for him in case he needed it?
No, he's had one put on now.
Has he? Where'd he get that from?
Dunno, maybe that bondage shop.
What do they do when they do that? Do they put on a... What do they do? Maybe someone could call in and tell us. If you're a woman, and you have
Do you
a...
want to speak to someone who's got that information?
Yeah, I do want to know. What do
If
they
you've
use
got
it
that information, I don't want to talk to
do
them.
they construct one? Do they construct it?
From plasticine.
Or do they whack on a dead one?
What?
What?
Whack on a dead one?
Yeah.
What? What? That's not, it's not, what do you mean? No.
When a woman has a knob put on
Yeah.
to have a sex change, where do they get it from? Is it constructed? Do they find, like, I don't know...
From a donor.
A donut?
From a donor.
Oh, well, yeah. A donor?
A
What?
donor, yeah.
Yeah, but presumably it's like
Maybe there's someone who
well,
wants
after
to
they're
become-
dead, I mean.
No, I thought maybe
Very
there's-
few people. It's not like giving someone a kidney and then sort of like celebrating
maybe
with
if you're
them.
a guy and you want to become a woman, you've
That's
got one to
true.
spare.
That's true.
Well, a swap.
Yeah, just do a little swap, probably on the internet or something.
Or Noel Edmonds
What do you mean?
on Swap Shop.
He's not a man.
No, but he could go. We got a fella here who got a lovely, nearly new, unused piece. Wants,
Yeah, Keith Chegwin out in
What's-
kind of Bognor Regis.
wants a couple of tits and a fanny for that. So call in.
It reminds me of the, do you remember the John Wayne Bobbitt story? Which
Yeah.
it always seemed odd to me. I never really kind of got all the information. Do you remember that one, Carl, where the woman cut off her husband's penis because
When he
was
was
adulterous or
sleeping.
something? I think it was sleeping, and she drove off. I think he
threw it
woke
in the
up
woods.
quite
She
quickly.
yeah. That's so much better than the
Exactly,
alarm
than
clock,
the alarm
isn't it?
call, yeah.
Yeah.
And she threw it off. She threw it out of the car into the woods,
Yeah.
and he went and found it.
Yeah.
But imagine if he'd got to the hospital and they'd sewn it back on, and he'd gone, that's bigger than I remember. I'm not sure this is mine.
How many of you cut us where we dump all the knobs?
We dump all the
That's
knobs
where-
in there.
Yeah.
That was an extraordinary story. And then, bizarrely, he became a porn star.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very strange life that man's had.
Well, it is a bit of a shock to the system, isn't it? Oh, cutting your knob off.
I know.
Do you remember that, French bloke, the performance artist of, 1910? Do you remember him?
No.
He, as a performance art, he cut his, in a theatre, he cut his knob off to a crowd of people. Now,
What?
That's only a one-night trick, though, isn't it?
Exactly. But what if there'd have been a bang outside?
They went encore. He went, what?
Yeah, or they looked outside because a car backfired. He went, did you see that? I go, what? I go, oh, just cut the... Did you? Yeah. Think of that.
Sacre bleu.
I know. French are funny, aren't they? Cutting your knob off for your art.
Weird, isn't it?
Longview. Further on XFM 104.9.
As we're having so much fun with penises, I thought perhaps I should just mention...
That's a slogan.
We should just mention this story, briefly. It's in the paper today. A Russian is selling what he claims is Hitler's mummified penis for £12,000.
Yeah.
Ivan Zadurprov says his ex-Red Army soldier dad hacked it off as a souvenir after storming the tyrant's Berlin bunker after his suicide in 1945.
Yeah. Not...
You
Why
convinced?
did he wait till now?
Yeah.
He's found out that... that might get a bit of... £12,000.
£12,000. Which doesn't seem a great deal. Doesn't seem a great deal of money, really.
Well, it's useless, isn't it?
True.
You're not going to be able to use it. It's not going to be able to... It's not going to be a donor. Imagine that if you walked round...
Yeah. You'll never... Making love to a girl. You'll never believe who this is.
Yeah. You never believe who's doing you, love.
Exactly. This is going to freak you out.
This is, just relax.
Exactly.
Okay, sit down now. Was that
got a
all
little
right?
surprise for
It was
you.
brilliant, yeah, so you enjoyed it?
Yeah.
Right, are
Did you
you a
notice-
fan of the Third Reich?
Exactly.
Well, no, awful racist. Okay, let's go a different tack.
Yeah.
You did like the sex. I love the sex. Okay, then. Yeah, it's not going to be Hitler's knob, is it?
But, I like the idea that, I mean, you're you're in the Red Army.
Yeah.
You've just stormed Berlin.
Yeah.
1945. You crash into the bunker.
You've gone through
Hell.
terrible. How you've lost 20 million comrades.
Unbelievable.
Oppression
Been
everywhere.
going on for years.
You're in there, you see the man.
Here he is, he's dead.
He's dead,
The figurehead and leader of one of the most despicable, you know...
You turn to your friends, there's a tear in your eye.
Yeah. And your immediate thought is, I ought to chop off his todger.
Yeah. Well, no, I said Bagsy. I said
Bagsy is Winkle.
I said Bagsy is Winkle outside. Whoever it was. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to be Hitler. Brilliant.
It's just, I can't, it just doesn't make sense. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. And I don't know how is he expecting to prove this? Because I want some proof.
Well, I think that's why he said that. He probably started off with, oh, I've got Hitler's face. And they went, brilliant. Oh, let's have a look at it. What do you mean, let's have a look? Well, just check Hitler's face. So obviously, I know what he looks like. Oh, yeah. No, it's not. Yeah, you know what no, it's not his face. What wouldn't you know what it looked like? Well, I mean, no one's ever seen his genitals. That's what I've got.
Yeah.
I've got his...
It's got a little swastika on it.
Is that proof, is it?
Yeah, little
Have you got
tattoo.
his ball? Well, no, the Albert Hall's got one, his mother's got the other, so I don't know.
See, the Albert Hall, I would have thought, would probably be paying that £12,000, because apparently they've already got his ball.
Yeah, they got one of his balls.
They got one of his balls in the Albert Hall, his mother's got the other.
Yeah.
But if they got the Todger
If they can track down the one his mother's got, they would have a complete set of Hitler's...
I'm just hoping it doesn't fall into the hands of some kind of crazed genetic scientist.
What, I could clone it from his knob?
Clone Hitler.
Back to... I don't even want to think about the future if that's the sort of way we're going.
Exactly.
If that's the sort of way we're going, Carl, I'd rather not know about it.
What
Carl,
do you make of it, Carl?
Weird, isn't it?
It is weird. I mean, I don't want to go on for this too long. We've probably got about a minute left for the first half hour, and I reckon should can this sort of...
What, 30 minutes of genital talk?
But
Is that enough
just quickly,
on a Saturday afternoon?
there's
Go on.
one in a museum, I think it's like that London Museum.
What? One what?
Well, do you know like how people are buying weird stuff and that to put in museums?
Yeah.
There's this device that, I mean, think about it, years and years ago they used to torture people, didn't they?
Yeah.
Really badly. And the device
Yeah,
that
there's
they've got...
no real good torture, but go on, I see your point.
Yeah, but this device, right, think about it, you've done something really bad years ago,
Yeah.
right, and you're thinking, oh, what are they going to do? Do you know what I mean? Could do anything here, it could be the end for me. The device they've got is this thing that you put on your bits, as a fella, and it's sort of metal, so it means you can't sort of, you know, get excited. It puts a stop to you, sort of...
That wasn't a torture device. I think it was a Victorian thing to stop adolescent boys wanking. They used to have things like wrist things as well with, like, spikes on them. It's not a torture device.
Isn't that?
Well, not really. Imagine that being captured by
No, I was
right,
gonna
you're
say, I
never
was
going to get
gonna
hard
say.
on again. Alright. Not really a torture device, is it?
And there wasn't that many nice-looking women wandering about anyway about them, was there? Didn't get excited about stuff.
What are you talking
Well, they
about?
filthy, they stunk and everything back then. Right, we've covered that. No more of that talk now, right? Let's move on.
Filthy,
All Victorian women, filthy and stinky.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Bit of Rolling Stones
Yeah,
and
let's
set
go
up
for
the
it.
old songs of phrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stones, Beast of Burden. We've not played it before. It's an absolute gem. The Rolling Stones, Beast of Burden. Can I just take this opportunity, Rick, to say to Sir Mick Jagger, happy 60th birthday this year, Mick.
Happy 60th birthday this year.
Yeah.
Was it today?
No, I don't know.
Well,
Something
otherwise
like
you'd be
this.
saying happy birthday to everyone every day. Every year.
No, because I don't know Mick Jagger, do I? So I'm just taking the opportunity, in case he happens to be listening today, to wish him a 60th. Happy 60th, or someone who knows him. might
What
be
about
listening
Brian
online.
Ferry? What about Brian Ferry?
How's Brian?
Right, well, I
I'm
mean,
not-
he's
not-
he's
But I'm
got
not
a
really a fan
birthday
of
this
Brian
year.
Ferry. I'm not going to wish Brian Ferry a birthday.
Oh,
because
happy
he's not
birthday,
really-
Brian.
Well,
Silence is easy. Star Sailor on XFM 104.9. Right, it's the quiz of the week.
if you want to go out and do some shopping, this is probably a good time, and come back again for about 15:15.
But don't
So-
forget, what I will say is, even though these clues, we're going to do songs of phrase, by the way, where Karl picks out a phrase that he might have said once, tries to find words from songs to put it together. You've got to guess as many as you can, song or artist, I can't remember. But even though you might look at it and go, that's mental, I don't know any of them, you might win if you get 2 right. I mean, I think the winner last week got about 3 out of 3
Well,
or
I have to
7.
be honest with you. I mean, last week, Rockbusters, surprisingly, was a very, very popular quiz.
Yeah,
It just happened to be awful.
yeah.
This one is pitiful. I mean, it's truly atrocious.
Yeah.
And it really doesn't even have a fan base. I mean, there's no one championing this one, Karl. Last week, seriously, mate, I got about
Oh, Carl's
seven
face.
or 8
That
replies.
is, oh God, that's terrible. That was like when you told a kid that you couldn't afford a Christmas present this year. Look at his face.
Yeah, it is a bit distraught.
Carl,
I suppose it's like Chris Evans' face when they said they were cancelling Girls and Boys. It's like, look, but I can come up with great TV game shows like that. No, you can't, Chris, not anymore.
Oh, his little glasses slid down his nose.
I'm the guy who don't forget your toothbrush.
Yeah. What was that money you owe me? No, you owe us. Oh, can't believe it.
Alright, so, will I just play it to you and
Whatever,
you
Karl.
try and work out what the phrase is?
Sorry, it's a phrase that might have once been uttered on this show.
It was said last week.
Oh, right.
All right, okay, brilliant.
Alright, here we go.
I know you're just 16, but looking all of 21. Look older.
Right, I didn't quite hear
Right, I know what that is. That's ridiculous.
it. What was
Right?
it?
What it is it's something like, right? You're only 16, but you look 26, and the Chinese look older than they are or something, because he said that the Chinese don't age well. That is mental, Karl. It's the most convoluted, ridiculous, racist piece of material ever to be uttered on radio.
Play it again.
I know you're just 16, but looking all of 21.
That's...
Look older.
Okay, you're just 16 and looking on 21. That's because the Chinese look older. Carl, you've gone mental.
Alright.
Oh, that is amazing. So, there you go, the well-known phrase, you're 16, looking all of 21, that's because the Chinese look older. Well-known phrase there, sweeping the nation. That'll be up there with "was up," and "shut that door." If they do a poll. Right.
Okay, play it once more. We're after the artists.
Just the artists.
Yeah.
I know you're just 16, but looking all of 21.
That's...
Look older.
Unbelievable.
Alright, let me tell you what the prizes are. We've got, I assume this is the new album from Mower. Everyone's going crazy from Mower. I've not heard people stop talking about Mower. But there it is. We got the new album from the Webb Brothers, which might be quite good. The Polyphonic Spree album, the best dance album in the world ever, which is ideal perhaps if you're having a barbecue and you've got lots of 8-year-old children coming.
The Polyphonic Spree, I look at them and I think, well, you know, you're a pretty good band, but if that album sounds like a million, you're going to make like 40 quid each.
I know, it's extraordinary.
I mean...
They're the sort of indie equivalent of the So Solid crew.
Yeah, you're not going to make any money. The manager's getting 20%.
Exactly, yeah. And also on DVD, Red Dwarf Series 1, so some absolutely barnstorming places.
And if you can identify what artist to use in this well-known racist phrase, that's because the Chinese look older.
Play it once more, Phil.
One more time.
I know you're just 16, but looking all 21. That's...
Oh, God!
Ricky.gervais at xfm.co.uk.
Play a record. This is Radio Words. Panic, The Smiths on XFM 104.9. Well, we've done the first half hour, which is mainly genital related. Then we've kicked in with, some racism. You have to guess what artist.
It seems appropriate at this juncture just to mention something that's in the paper today. Dominic Mohan, I know you're a big fan, as am I. He is just writing about the demise of Radio 1, or as he perceives it, and talking about the Radio 1 breakfast show, and apparently it's lost lots of listeners. And he says, talking of the BBC, it must act swiftly to replace Sarah Cox and look to exciting and inspirational figures like Jonathan Ross, Ant and Dec, Johnny Vaughan, or Ricky Gervais to try and save Radio 1.
He's right.
I mean...
He's right.
Has he ever heard this show? What is he talking about? All those other acts, they're dynamite. I can't, genuinely, that's someone who said I quite like Ricky Gervais show, but he can't have listened. I mean, can you imagine what we just played? Or in fact, can you imagine the last 50 minutes on Radio 1, on the breakfast show?
Well, we could pre-record it though, so I wouldn't have to get up early.
Sure.
That's not your point, is it?
That's not really
No,
it.
your point is the quality of what we're doing, not well how early it is. Sure. Get it.
What would you provide though, Ricky, do you think, if you went to Radio 1? What sort of, because I mean obviously...
Wank, oops. I can do all that.
Because I mean, obviously our time at XFM is going to basically...
I'd be the furry shreddy.
Right.
Yeah, so I'd get that.
Would you have some wacky catchphrases?
I think I would.
You'd bring back Holy Fook, presumably.
Holy fuck, yeah. Oh, ding dong. Oh, hello, it's my little Chinese neighbour. Hello, what's your name? My name is Holy Fuck. Hello. Look at Karl, he's just going, oh,
I don't know, you didn't even do the Chinese accent, that's all.
Well, that'd be racist.
Okay, sure.
I mean, yeah,
Sure.
it's just his name's Holy Fuck, and there's nothing
wrong
or
with that.
funny about that.
So yeah, you'd have that, you'd have
have
crazy
that.
comedy characters, you'd probably have some wacky quizzes.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Dirty Old Queer. Hello.
No, I'm not, he's a new character to me, I'm quite excited, he sounds very modern and contemporary.
Yeah.
A new spin
Yeah.
on an old idea.
Yeah.
Just tell us a little bit more.
Oh, wow, he's an actor, isn't he? And
Right.
and he likes to, take it up.
Alright, well, that's just, if anyone from Radio 1 is listening, and
Yeah.
they've listened to Dominic Mohan in the paper, they thought, yes, you're right, we need some new blood at Radio 1. Ricky Gervais has got a myriad of comedy characters.
Yeah. Whack, oops. I can do sound
You can
effects.
do sound effects.
So-
You could probably do funny voices like Chris Moyles, couldn't you?
Yeah. Wow. Not as good, but I can...
What about comedy songs like Moyles?
Again, not as good, but I mean...
Do you remember when Moyles rather hilariously changed the words of This Is My Moment by Martin McCutcheon to This Is My Motor?
We listened to it, though, didn't we?
Unbelievable.
I remember when he was doing a competition, this was pathetic, wasn't it? We were listening to, Radio 1 once on our site, and I don't know why, we just wanted to, I think it was research, wasn't it, for The Office?
Yeah.
And, he was doing this, he had to phone in with...
We were listening to idiots. And
No, I'm not saying that. And he was doing this competition, you had to call in with, some, songs that are golf related. And people were phoning up going, drive the cars. He was going, drive the cars, good. And I was on that phone, I must have wasted about 40 quid, and I wanted to get through and go, hello, Chris, it's not Milesy, yeah? It's Derek here, I've got one. Oh, go on then, Derek, what is it? Something like Spandau Ballet with golf cart and that. And I just wanted to, and I waited. I thought the joke's on us.
Yeah.
I waited on phone bill just to say something stupid. Oh dear.
Oh.
His show's better than this.
Yeah, anyway, if you've got any hilarious golf-related song titles that you'd like to email in,
What's the number?
Oh, let me email in.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. What would a song title be if perhaps we were doing something about, I don't know, air travel?
Yeah.
If you've got any crazy ideas, email in. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah. Brilliant. I've got a thought of another golf one.
Okay.
You know Duran Duran? Something down the fairway or something, say like that. Alright?
Girls on the putting green? Or
Yeah.
something?
Alright?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Have you introduced you? My name's Holy Fuck. I'm Dirty Old Queer. I could do all that. Ding dong, whack whack, oops. Elbow. Fallen Angel. See, they're the odd one out, you see, because of what they're like and who they are and how successful they are, I can imagine saying, will you please welcome to the stage, Elbow.
Indeed.
But
yeah.
I wouldn't have. On paper, I'd have thought that was
a terrible band name.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. There are exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Boomtown Rats.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'd have thought that was I mean, I think it is a bad name.
It is a bad name.
But you can imagine it happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's bad name. So call in if you've got email addresses and let's call in with funny observations on life and shit. So, well, it's going well, isn't it? That's halfway through. Well, Carl, what do you think?
Yeah, it's been alright. It's been alright.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of bases.
We haven't taught them anything.
Not taught them anything.
No, I think
we taught them to tune into a different station.
Yeah, I think Heart 106.2 is probably picking up a few of our listeners as we speak.
Yeah.
Who's on at the moment?
Don't know. Doesn't matter on there, does it? They just sort of...
Don't slag them off.
No, I'm not slagging them off. I'm just saying I don't think... You tune in because you want to hear Simply Red and that, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Well, they play other great stuff as well.
Magic is the one that I love, because I only ever listen to it in a cab.
Yeah.
If I'm in a mini cab.
Good, that's good. That is a good station.
But Magic is dynamite. But I know for Magic, the DJs have got like 5-hour shifts. It's incredible. They're all...
And they do read their own news.
I know. It's like they've cut out any expenditure on that channel. It's just some old records.
Yeah.
And one guy has to go on for 5 hours, read his own news, his own travel. There's nothing else.
I saw a bloke struggling once. He sort of wants to be a bit of a sort of comedian, and he does one link. It's sort of one sort of 15-second link between each record. Goes, that's Celine Dion. There's a story in the paper again that people were late for work on the Underground because there was leaves on the track. Just wondering if leaves are ever late for work because there's people on the track. It's Simply Red. Oh, bless him.
I still think he's got to come up with them for like 5 hours.
He's been sweating. Thought I was going, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to kill myself.
Share's almost finished.
Thinking the story about war on Iraq. Imagine if I can't do this anymore. I can't imagine
if humans become extinct.
With leaves.
Dinosaurs would kill
I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh my God! Look at Karl's face when I said that.
The man moth.
Yeah.
They've cloned a man moth.
No, but that's the sort of thing I think we need now, right? We've covered a lot of stuff.
What, education?
Teaching, yeah.
Well, okay, what do you want to know?
Don't know.
Have you got something? Can you educate us on anything?
I've been reading bits
So
and
could we
bobs.
bring back just for one night only, educating Ricky?
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah? Do you think it warrants that?
I don't know enough about it. You know what I mean?
About what?
It sounds perfect. Play the jingle.
Oh, educating Ricky. He's getting smarter.
A couple of things happened in the week that I read about.
Okay.
Keeping up on what's going on in that.
Sure.
Yeah.
One was about that Galileo fella.
Okay.
Was it about 1636? Was it?
I think it might have been
not
earlier.
bad.
Go on.
Did some stuff with light and that.
Yeah, he did lots of physical experiments, yeah.
Is that it then, Karl, is it? He did some stuff with light and that.
What did he do with light? What was that?
Well, I think he invented the first...
Telescope.
Telescope. So I think it's a particular lens though, and he did experiments where he dropped famously two different weighted balls from Pisa, and they hit the ground at the same time, showing that doesn't matter, the weight doesn't matter, but air resistance does and stuff like that.
I think he probably explained it a bit better than that.
Yeah, but I'm talking to Karl.
Sure. Did they need to know
He's
stuff?
just thinking about pizza.
Yeah.
Did they need to know stuff like that back then?
What do you mean, did they need to know stuff like that? It's just...
There weren't people going around going, I've got to drop these two things off the Leaning Tower of Pizza. I just don't know which one's going to land first.
Yeah, I need to know. What do you need to know
Bring me
about?
Galileo.
Yeah.
It's for a bet.
Yeah.
No, but if I was knocking about then, I'd be like, stop messing with that. We need a telly. Or, do you know what I mean?
I bet he thinks the Flintstones is real.
I know.
That'd be brilliant. That's what I'd do if I was a caveman. I'd make a telly out of rock.
Yeah.
And a pelican
And a
as
car
a
that I
cement
just
mixer.
ran along the road with.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we need a car.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't really got the internal combustion engine. Can you stick your feet through the bottom? Yeah, just get me a car, for Christ's sake.
Anyway, so I learnt that. And
Yeah.
then,
What?
He learned his name.
Yeah.
Other people I learned the
Brilliant.
name of this week.
Oh, if a chimp could watch telly. Go on, Carl, go on.
and there was also a fella in the week who said, that women shouldn't be wearing trousers.
Why?
Because they don't look good in them.
Right, and who was this man, and from what era
French
did
fella, French fella. Last week.
Did he mean walk around naked?
He just said, women should wear skirts rather than trousers, because no woman looks good in a pair of pants.
Right. How old was he?
It's probably about 67.
Uh-huh.
About that, 67, 68.
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't happy with that. What do you think? What do you think about that?
It's rubbish.
Yeah.
These are the only things that have caught your eye over the last couple of weeks. This is the entire news.
Galileo did something with light. A French fella said women shouldn't wear trousers. See, that to me wouldn't pass as education.
It's not education.
I don't know where you could ever use that. I don't know when that would ever be applicable to life.
I just like reading stuff that sort of reminds me of. Do you know what I mean? If I read it and it gets me thinking, I think that's a good little piece.
But I mean, but surely can't you just sort of like sit near something that vibrates to keep your brain going, or shake your head every now and again? I mean, what does this do? You mean it makes you start using your brain?
But what aspect of a Frenchman said women shouldn't wear trousers got your mind working? What questions were you
Because I
asking?
thought that's a bit daft, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
it
was
ends there
thinking-
with me. There's nothing else. There's nowhere else for me to go on that.
He closes
Your
the
mind's
gate.
still worrying.
Yeah, go on. What did you think? Let's go through this. Oh, I wish we could download his
I know,
thoughts.
I know.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great, like a DVD?
like a
added-
cartoon.
imagine that extra footage on the Office DVD.
Yeah, Carl's brain.
That would be
With a commentary.
amazing. Oh, with
What I
a
mean is-
commentary. Go on.
Women wearing trousers and that, right? On the estate that I grew up in,
Yeah.
on right. There was a woman about 4 houses down, right? Rough. She's the
She
one.
was, or the estate.
She was right.
Yeah.
She's the one whose kid took a horse into her house.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Now we won't go over that again.
No.
If you're a new listener, I think we covered. I think they get
That's
the
all you
idea
need to
now.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
Now she used to wear leggings.
Yeah.
No, they're a bad idea.
They are a terrible idea. I agree with you there, Carl. If you're a lady of
What
the
colour?
normo
Were
persuasion...
they pink?
No, they were sort of black, but with all bits on them.
Oh, right.
Do you know what I mean?
What,
Yeah.
toast and horse
bits.
droppings? Yeah, go on, yeah.
And she used to, she's quite a big woman.
Sure.
Pauline Quirk, I think
Yeah,
we
well,
described her as.
Looked like a light bulb when
It
she was
is those
bending
kind of
over in
women that are
leggings.
attracted to leggings.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
They are drawn to them like a moth. that shoots on a flame.
Yeah.
She
yeah.
used to wear them, and that's what I remember when I read this piece. And she used to work on one of those sex line things.
Right.
Right, she used to do that. But
What, was she an engineer?
the weird thing with her was, she had big eyelids.
Right.
Go on.
That were too big, and this is what I was thinking.
What,
right?
what do you mean she had big eyelids? How big do eyelids have to be for you to go, they're big eyelids? What was she shoplifting with them? Would she come out of Dixon's with, like, radio stored in them? What do you mean she
No,
had big eyelids?
it was another one of them popular things round our way. Do you know? Like,
What do you mean popular things? They
think
didn't
people
go,
have
they go, oh, I say, well, they're all the rage. Can I get some big eyelids, please?
No. It was just like one of them things that people suffered with. Just big eyelids. They could hardly open their eyes.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's one of them popular things round where I grew up. People had big eyelids, they could hardly open their eyes. What does that mean? What sort of freak town were you born in? You had webbed feet people with big heads, you got women with big eyelids. What does big eyelids mean?
Are you confusing her with the horse?
yeah. Did she have hooves? Look, what?
Just too much skin. It was like the neck of a chicken, but on the eyes.
What's your point? Anyway, so there's this big eyelidded woman with the
And
leggings.
that's what I'm saying to you though. That's when I read that story with people with trousers.
Yeah.
I went from that.
Yeah.
To
into
a
that.
woman who used to have big eyelids. I still know the point.
But then, and also the other bloke who had the eyelid problem was a mate of mine.
Right.
His dad had it, and same problem, massive eyelids.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I used to say to my mum, oh, I'm going round to, you know, Dave's house.
Yeah.
And,
Or Drew
say,
Pig,
well,
as you call it.
that's alright, but make sure his dad doesn't take you out in the car. Because he could hardly... he could hardly see. He had to have his head...
He gets to tilt his head back to keep his eyes
Make
open.
sure! Didn't he have a couple of matches with him at all times?
What a load of gobbledygook.
Well,
This began as educating Ricky.
I know,
So
it's
what,
like
he was
people
thinking,
with eyelids.
but it's like you're supposed to make that leap as well. If
Yeah.
I mentioned the trousers, Ricky will probably be thinking about people with big eyelids and women wearing leggings.
Play a record, Carl.
Got nonsense.
Adverts.
No. Oh, all right. Muse, time is running out on XFM 104.9.
Just a couple of emails just to update you on what's coming in here.
Go on.
Natasha has emailed us. She says that she's of Chinese origin, and at 27 she often got mistaken for 24. So your notion that Chinese people don't age well is obviously factually incorrect.
Yeah, well, we didn't need... Thank you for phoning, but I mean, honestly, trust us, Natasha, we didn't need you to tell us that. We know Carl is talking absolute nonsense.
Wait till you get to 30.
Oh dear, now this is quite a nice email from Paul. He says, let Carl know that I have a Chinese friend called Oi. Imagine the confusing and amusing situations we get into.
We're out and about in
Yeah.
busy Soho.
Oi!
Does his surname come here?
Lightning wit from Carl.
Wait
That's nice.
till you're 30.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant.
But no, actually, we've had a surprising response to Songs of Phrase this week, despite the fact everyone has agreed that it's racialist. They've nevertheless had a go, so keep your answers coming in, because we may as well.
You're a hit, Carl. You're a hit. What, have we still got monkey news?
Yeah, that's still coming up.
Yeah.
Later on.
We're not doing Cheeky Freak of the Week anymore. We're not.
No.
No.
Don't want to upset people and that.
Sure.
But there is a good freaky programme on this week.
Go on.
I think it's on Channel 4.
Yeah.
Got a woman with a big head on it.
No, I think it's BBC Two.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright, well, look
Unless
out for
there's
that.
two on, because that would be a great week for you, wouldn't it?
Brilliant. Won't be coming out.
Is that the one when you said... Go on, say right, say what you said when you saw it.
The woman with the head
Yeah.
just said it looks like a cartoon.
I just think...
That's so mean. I don't want to discuss
No,
that.
it's not mean.
It is mean, Carl.
Again, Steve, if we were in a restaurant and I'm arranging to meet her, and I said to the guy on the door, I'm meeting, you know, Lisa, or whatever her name is here.
Right.
What does he look like? Well, looks like a cartoon. I'll be over there. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he'll get mixed up.
What would you
That's
say
what I'm
about me and Steve again? If you were meeting us?
No, it just starts getting nasty, doesn't it?
I'm meeting Karl Pilkington. We're very busy. What does he look like? He looks like Charlie Brown grew up. He's got a complete little round bald head, and he's got a gormless look on his face. He's over there, mate.
Yeah.
All right, that's started the ball rolling for you, Carl. I love that it's okay to say what you like about people. If you go, yeah, but if I was looking for her in a restaurant,
I know, but...
yeah.
And why have you arranged to go on a date with this woman?
Be a good night out.
For her or for you?
Well, I'd like to have a chat with her. You know what I mean? Just find out what worries her and... You know what I mean? Because some girls
People
really
like
that
you.
things.
Yeah.
Like their hair being a mess and that.
Yeah.
With her, it's like, least of your problems. You know what I mean?
Fine, alright, well let's move on, mate. We're not doing Cheeky Freak of the Week anymore.
No.
Let's do something nice. Let's talk nicely about things.
What's happened nice in the world, Carl? What do you like in the world? When you get up, when you go, oh, that was a brilliant day, What do you do when you go, oh, that was brilliant? We had a game of snooker. You like snooker, don't you? You and Steve played snooker last week.
Yeah, but things are always ruined. Do you know what I mean? I might be having a nice time having a game of snooker. And then, you know, we're having a proper battle. And I'm trying to concentrate on taking a shot, and then you'll say things like, look at his little monkey hands. And I'm going for the black. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll say, I'm just going to the toilet. And then one of you will follow me in and peer over the door.
Oh, yeah! Tell that one. That was when you were actually in a cubicle sitting down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Steve Merchant's head appeared and went, all right. And you went, what if that wasn't me? Oh, that was great.
Doing a George Michael on me.
That is one of the benefits of being very tall.
You can look over
You can look over the stalls into my lavatories.
It looks like a giraffe house. You're sitting down there and you look up, right? And he's peering over the top.
Oh, the fun we had.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
But anything intelligent.
It's like the monkeys. We are like the monkeys, aren't we, us three? I wanted to write a thing for the darkness. I want to write like the new monkeys.
Like a TV show.
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, alright.
Yeah, okay. Well, if they're listening, or their radio show, a record company listening, or their manager, big fan of the Darkness, my favourite.
Hang on, don't make a promise like that.
No, my favourite band at the moment. We'll do a pilot. Them and the Monkeys.
but they don't make
Running
that
round,
promise.
speed it up. They can have their songs in it. They can write songs specially for us.
What if they can't act?
And it's them. They can act. They just act themselves running round. We're getting people like McGee and that to come in and sort of be the actors, and
Yeah.
you know, all those posh actors that appear in Ali G and that.
It sounds like a lot of hard work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, forget it.
Knock it on the head.
Yeah, let's play Radiohead. Radiohead and Let Down off OK Computer on XFM 104.9. Right, let's think of some nice stuff then.
Annoyed I was yesterday.
Go on.
Just got off the train, and guy comes up to me and he says, "Excuse me, can you spare some change? I'm from Liverpool and I'm homeless." And I was so angry. I was in a bad mood anyway, and I just wanted to say to him, "Well, there's your mistake. Go back to Liverpool. That's why you're homeless. You're in London."
Well, he might have been
You
homeless in
idiot.
Liverpool and thought...
Well, why'd you come down here?
Well, where would you rather be homeless? Liverpool or London?
Well, Algarve.
Well, no, but I mean, I'd certainly... Do you know what I mean?
But just, why am I supposed to say I'm from Liverpool and I'm homeless? Why is that supposed to be a persuading factor? Just annoyed me. I thought there was enough problems here already.
He's going for a double sympathy vote.
Yeah.
I'm homeless and I'm a Liverpoolian.
He could have just said I'm from Liverpool. I'd have given him some change. Guy he was from Manchester once. I gave him my sandwich.
Yeah.
There's a thing the other night, right? They do this programme. It's only on in London, so if you listen out of London, you won't know about it. But it's about Oxford Street, right? And
About all the thieving that goes
it's
on
like
and stuff.
thieving,
Yeah.
you know, drug problems on
Yeah.
the streets and that.
Yeah.
You know, what gets on people's nerves, those people with the boards, you know, golf sale and all that. And there's this bit that concentrated on the homeless problem, right? And he said, you know, this fella looks after the homeless, he goes up to him, says, "How you doing? Are you hungry? Do you need food?" and that. He said, "You know, a lot of people worry about the homeless, but we do try and look after them." And the Salvation Army were there, and they said, and this is where they can come if they need anything, if they need any food, or any clothes, if the shoes are worn out. And he said, "Oh, can we have a look at that?" Right? So they go in this little room where all the clothes are, and they go, and there's like a load of jumpers for them in the winter, in the cold. And the camera sort of pans across. Load of ties.
Right.
For the homeless.
What?
Ties.
Ties for the homeless?
Round the neck, like, to look smart.
No, they use them as belts. I've seen a lot of...
Or as a lead for their dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you talking about, ties?
That's what they did. They said, "And here's the room with all the stuff in it." Right? Jumpers for the homeless. Jumpers, shirts, trainers. And you got a load of ties. Nobody wanted one.
Some evening dress, and they got a formal function.
Any cravats? Now, where's the cummerbunds? I'm thinking of being homeless outside the Royal Albert Hall tonight.
Yeah.
That's where the real pickings are.
I'm breaking in the back door of the Savoy this evening.
Oh, dear.
Another charity thing that I was reading about the other day that they're doing.
Do they give them trainers? Because I've seen a lot of tramps with new trainers, and I think there must be like a equivalent of a soup kitchen where they get shoes, because that's it must be, yeah. Otherwise, that's weird, isn't it? You get you blow any money, you beg all day and get a nice new pair of Nike. Yeah, no, don't waste it on clothes. Get some tenants.
mess, yeah.
Get some, special brew. That's the best value. Go on.
Some smack.
Go on.
If you've got a lot of worries,
Yeah.
on the street.
Little starter bag.
Take your mind
only a
off
fiver.
it.
Yeah, I know.
Take your mind off it.
Yeah.
But that's weird you say that, because, you know, a trainer's the most important thing, because, like, you know all the problems in Africa,
Sure.
right? Lot of problems going on there.
Yeah.
The other day, they're asking for people to send their spectacles to Africa.
Right.
Would you be happy if you were over there and, like, you're hungry and that? And then they say, "Here you go."
Well, yeah, but it must be for a reason. I don't think
See, they've got bad eyes and that.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think they go around. It's not like when you see those things on Live Aid and there's people dying but they're putting specs on them.
No, I think that's what it is.
No, it's not, Carl. They sort
think that's
out
what they do.
food and medication before they put a little pair of specs on the lads.
That isn't how he came across in the advert.
I think they probably walk hand in hand. You know, the people handing out the food are also, you know, walking alongside guys with the specs, and they're handing them out as well.
But what have they got to look at?
What?
They don't own anything. They'll realise how bad everything is. God, it's rubbish here, isn't it? tell you, I try and help out the world. I've joined a little charity thing. They pay me £5 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all up for helping.
Yeah.
But sometimes you think, what can we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What can we do?
Okay, what can we do?
We can't do anything.
Okay.
That thing.
Play a record.
We were talking about the debt the other day. I was reading up on the amount of debt that South Africa are in and that, and it's just like, that's without any shops. Do you know what I mean? If they had shops to spend the money on, there'd be murder.
That third world debt isn't because they bought too many smeg fridges from us. It's shopping. Look, who's been shopping? I have. Oh, well, you've gone over the top. You're on a budget now.
Yeah,
You're getting nothing but grain and blankets for the next year because you go mental. Who
just spent £1 billion in Dixon.
Oh God!
Forthcoming single from The Thrills, that's called Santa Cruz.
On XFM 104.9.
We were just talking about people who do good work, you know, wandering up and down Oxford Street, giving stuff to the homeless and things.
Yeah.
And I was at they have a little kind of music festival back in my hometown of Bristol, periodically in the summer. They can never really attract any decent acts, but, you know, we support
Not
it
even
anyway.
Portishead?
No, they never
Tricky?
No.
Right.
I think that, well, this year it was Robert Plant, who sang lots of old blues covers, and people were quite bored until he played Whole Lot of Love at the end, and then we sort of went, really, you should have done all the old Led Zeppelin and stopped playing all this other nonsense we're not interested in.
So I was set this for
Exactly,
next time.
yeah.
Robert, no.
But, I just snuck off into the woods for, you know, a waz, because I'm quite rock and roll like that, and I was passing, and these are a group of people, and I've always thought they never get enough praise, enough credit, and I genuinely, and I mean this without, entirely sincerely, I really do, I don't mean to be, I'm not taking the mick at all, but the St. John's Ambulance people, they're absolutely blinding, because they all look like nerds. I mean, they all look like kind of, they're normally kind of fat women, or kind of blokes.
I think you're doing very well for their new recruitment campaign.
Well,
so,
I was going to say,
I think you're selling it to people who want
this
to
is
join.
my point, Rick, is that they've not changed the uniforms in like 40 years. And it is normally, yeah, it's normally the kind of, the nerds from your school who went into it or whatever. It's kind of old people. I saw them, they were all sat around in this little area. No one was, you know, nobody just sat around, they were bored, they weren't really enjoying the music. And I thought, look at that, they're not, that fat kid over there, I pointed them out to my mate. I said, see that fat one over there, in the uniform?
With the glasses and the hairbrush forward.
With the glasses, hairbrush forward, the kind of blue navy jumper.
Satchel.
There's a little satchel, yeah. He is never going to get off with a girl, probably until he's like 30. And even then
it gets to loosen clothes.
And even then it's because he's giving mouth to mouth to her.
Yeah.
Right, and I thought, he's never going to get anything. And I'll tell you this, all these trendy young girls walking around in their kind of, you know, cool summer gear, in their trendy tie-dye and the like, I'll tell you, when one of them, you know, takes something that's a little bit dodgy that they bought off some guy with dreads, right? And then they're desperate for him, and they zip in there. Oh, quick, my friend's, you know, passing out, she's had a funny turn, and he's straight there with his water and his medication. Oh, yeah, they need him then, but he don't get any action the rest of the time. You know, and that's what annoyed me about it. I thought, they're doing a bloody good job. They turn up at sports events, at festivals, no one gives them the time of day, you never hear any good praise about them, and they're there, sat there,
Steve,
hot or cold.
Tell me the truth now. Did you join the St. John's Ambulance last week to get some birds?
Got no action.
Really?
I had no action. And I've been passing some dodgy E's around all the festivals.
By the way, your dreads are awful. You can see they're fake.
They made out of newspaper.
They're awful. You really do look an idiot.
But seriously, I'm all joking aside, I genuinely wanted to give some massive props. If I could give some big ups to the St. John's people, because I genuinely, without any joking, I genuinely think they do a brilliant job.
Could I just say how good I think the Salvation Army are? Because you see those elderly ladies with surgical supports, a lot of them, all look like Thor Herd.
Yep. Well, that's a prerequisite to get into that particular army.
And they play that bloody tambourine, rain or shine.
Yeah.
And they are just, all they're trying to do is, you know, save you from burning in hell. And they don't get any respect.
Have the Salvation Army, do they, like, would they have to get called off?
Yeah, they'd be,
it'd
be the Gurkhas first, then all the regulars, then the TAs. I think then it's sort of like police,
lifeguards,
yeah, down to I think AA, and then it's the Salvation Army.
Right.
We send the Salvation Army. Obviously, if you know, we lost a lot of casualties, you know, and they're the last to go.
Yeah, but they are all highly trained, aren't they? All these old women, they can kill a man.
Yeah,
with a single blow.
Yeah, yeah. So good to them. Good to John's Ambulance. Good to Salvation Army. You know, big up.
But I think we should just, you know, if I might introduce a new feature every week, let's just give some props. Let's just give some massive respect to someone who doesn't get enough respect.
Yeah. Who doesn't get enough respect? Who's done a blinding job? Oh, Mother Teresa.
She's gone now. She's gone. She won't be listening anyway.
Who's the best person there is? Who's the best person there is? I'll tell you what, I'm gonna call, either Karl Vorderman or, Esther Ranson and say who's the best one you've ever met that, you know, did something.
Yeah.
Alright?
And we'll heap praise upon them next week.
Yeah.
Great.
What?
I just don't like, you know. They know they're doing a good job.
Right.
If I did that job, I want a pat on the back.
You wouldn't need a pat on the back.
And people are starting to, you know, it's like Karl Vorderman. I like her. She's alright. She does a good job. But now that Better Homes, they only tend to turn up at people who have had problems. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Well, you
leave
can
it,
have a
leave
new
it.
kitchen.
Okay, look, wait. Go on, what do you mean?
No, it used to start off and it's like...
I haven't seen Better Homes. What is Better Homes?
They go around and do someone's house up.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But then they get a bit of bad news. And Karl thinks, I'll cheer them up, I'll give them a new kitchen.
Yeah.
And it annoys me because if you haven't had bad news, it doesn't mean you're not worth a new kitchen.
Did you send in an application?
Yeah. You say that I'm bald, I'm from Manchester.
Well, if you'd written that, they'd have rushed round.
Yeah. What do you mean? What they say, so-and-so's had a bad year, his mum died, he lost his leg, and all he's ever wanted is a chaise longue and a hostess trolley.
And the annoying thing is, right, they might not be the ones who write in, it might be a neighbour.
Yeah.
But they also get something sorted out for them.
Really?
So even though the neighbours had a bit of bad news, they go, oh, cash in on this one. I'll send a letter into old Karl, tell her that, you know, Mum's passed away.
Yeah.
I'll get a new, conservatory sorted.
Sure.
And sometimes a neighbour gets a better deal than the person who... Do you know what I mean? The person who's had a bit of bad news gets like a new little kitchen, whatever. Neighbour next door,
Leave the
conservatory,
kitchen, let it go, Karl.
new decking in the
You had to
in the
pay for your own
garden.
kitchen.
Do
Is
you
it
know what I
done
mean,
now?
though?
Is it all
Yeah,
done now, the
kitchen sorted, bathroom these
You had
things.
trouble with the grouting, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't want to go
Oh no,
into
we got to do, look, play a record, we got to do the results. And then we got to do monkey news.
Could we quickly do the results?
Well, you say we've got to do the results. There's not people hanging on for them.
Let's do it and just knock it out there before
Well, let's play a tune, let's come back and do it.
Eddie and the Hot Rods, yeah, surely. Eddie and the Hot Rods, do anything you want to do. That's uplifting, isn't it?
Oh.
The drumming, brilliant. Takes me back, all the way back to 1978 on XFM 104.9.
What were you doing? What are your memories?
I was actually probably dancing around miming the drums to that in my bedroom. In fact, I remember...
Were you nude?
No. I remember, I had that
What were
one
you wearing?
on a
What were you
single,
wearing?
but I'd got it from an old jukebox, so it didn't have a middle.
Sure.
Right, I think they're called dinked, right? And so I had to line it up really carefully, and sometimes by the end it would just slightly go out where the record was moving. Where I just had to... Interesting anecdote there.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
What a lovely insight
Since
into
you're
the
right for
young
asking me what I was doing 25 years ago. Karl, quick, the results, then monkey news. I need some monkey news, but I need the results first. I'll play it again and give the answers. Here we go.
Songs of
Competition.
phrase.
Songs of phrase?
Name the artist.
Name the artist.
I know you're just 16, but looking old.
Hue and Cry.
That's...
Who's that?
Hang on.
Well, that's Philip Bailey again. That's too little.
older.
Right, it was...
That was Roxette. The look.
Yeah. Right, we had, Hue and Cry started it off.
Yeah.
16. That was Dean Martin. Because
Oh, yeah.
Jane's
That's his
Addiction.
addiction, yeah.
Because
Cars. Yeah.
Chinese Philip Bailey.
Philip Bailey, that's second outing he's had.
Look.
Last one, we used him for Chinese, where there was this hairy Chinese kid. And he's never got so many royalties being used in racist game shows. Brilliant.
Then Roxette and finishing with George Michael.
Oh dear.
So, that's
Brilliant.
that, right?
Who's the winner?
Well, the winner, actually, it looks to me like he's got all of them here, from Bognor Regis. It's Stuart Birch. Well done, Stuart, and you get that bag of tat.
Bognor Regis.
Yep.
Oh.
Just need his
Takes me
address.
back as well.
Yeah, if you just email in your address, Stuart, and you can have those goodies. If you're not interested, don't bother.
Steve. Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news.
Okay, monkey-related news from Karl Pilkington.
Right, do you know the monkey that went into space?
Yeah.
Yep.
It happened in 1958.
Right.
Now you know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did he do next?
What
he
did the
do
monkey do next?
Yeah.
One appearance on Celebrity Squares and then was like forgotten.
Right,
Yeah, cut a novelty record.
Yeah, just like Rick Waller.
I'll tell you what happened. He got back and all that.
Got that. Heroes welcome.
NASA sort of said, you know, you did a good job. And that's where a lot of people think, you know, it all ended.
Sure.
Yeah.
But NASA were like, well, hang on a minute. We spent
He's
a lot
trained.
of time, we've trained him up and stuff. So he's like, you know, he's saying, sure, you know, I've learnt a lot, I've still got it all, I've kept it all, I know what to do. So they said, right, we'll use you. So he turned into, like, a bit of a trainer at NASA.
We wanted to send you out on the top of an organ.
You put on this little bellhop outfit.
Could you smoke fags?
Yeah.
I'll have a go.
So they were getting in new monkeys. You know, the main man at NASA was saying, can you teach us the sound? He's going, of course I can. Do you know what I mean? I remember it all, I know what's going on, I'll tell him what buttons to press, what to do in emergencies, that sort of thing. It was technically sort of employed by the army.
Right, can I just fit in here? I don't know the story, Karl, and I might embarrass myself here. You've got an army of people out there that will probably send me an equally deranged email from a different website, but I'm pretty sure when they sent the monkey into space, it was to monitor his physiology. He didn't press any buttons or learn to dock or take off. It was just the effects of weightlessness and space on, basically a primate. I'm pretty sure he was tied in with electrodes to his head. So, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be proved,
but even if that were the case, and he had learned to press one or two very basic buttons...
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Even if it were the case, I'm pretty certain they wouldn't have brought him back to train up Neil Armstrong.
Right, definitely. Go on.
Going, Neil, what are you going to say when you come out there?
Yeah.
I was thinking of just saying, hello, I'm on the moon.
Hello, it's made of cheese. Don't say that. What about... I've noticed that you got little legs, right? But mankind stepped forward. Well, how could I put that?
I was just going to say, hello, I'm on the moon, it's great to be here, wish you were here.
I've got to think so
Hi,
better than that.
Mum.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, basically he got back, they sorted him out with a nice pension, he was happy. Because of, like, the rank that he got, he was like, you know, he had loads of medals and stuff. He said, right, we'll make him a colonel. He got that. Like I say, he got a pension. How was the end? He died in 1969. He was buried with his wife. He passed away.
His wife? I'm sure it just goes on to a different website about something completely different. And
You're talking about Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. His page is missing. Oh, dear.
So...
Well, Karl, if someone could call in, did they train Leica the dog to sort of like, you know, dock and re-entry?
He never made it back, did he, Leica?
They didn't bother. They didn't even bother.
They didn't bother bringing him back.
They just sent him up there, and they didn't have technology to bring him back, and they just went, yeah, that's there. That's brilliant. Well, I can do that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think of that, Karl? Rubbish, isn't it?
Sort of brought it down a bit. But,
but the little monkey made a colonel. Hero. Big hero. What was he in? What craft was he in? Sputnik.
Just hang on a minute. He was in, Jupiter AM.
Yeah.
Let me see that piece of paper.
Yeah, I can guarantee there's nothing there about his training other than let's hope he's not sick on the control panel when we shoot him up at 400 Gs. Oh dear. I love the fact that you think that this monkey was a high... Do you know what I mean? When you think of these things that are less than a monkey's space, do you think of the Planet of the Apes? Like they're sort of talking, sort of chimps and gorillas, and they're in tunics on horseback with snub-nosed rifles. What do you think of?
Just a little monkey getting on with it. He knows his job, he knows what he's got to do, he gets on with it.
Look, he's pressed the button. Watch him press the button. This takes me back. Do you remember 1965, I think it was?
We're going to use him to train other DJs.
That's it then.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Cheers.